Welcome everybody here to the top 5 plays of the week from Esports U, Clutch Key helping to bring you those top plays, so let's get things started. In Valorant, it's the Loyola Maryland Greyhounds taking on the Army West Point Black Knights, taken to map number 1 on Icebox, and the Greyhounds winning the pistol round, so it's looking good for them to go up 10-4, but with the Marshal, it's MIB Police from the Black Knights on the case.
At the same time, but that opportunity won't be afforded. D-Sung, though, could turn this into a rifle. Potentially more. MIB Police from the Raptors doing work with the Marshal and might even present a greater threat. Jumping down with the classic. Turn into a right-click hero. A Marshal in hand. And MIB Police secures a 4K. Force round be damned.
A heroic play from MIB Police, but it would be the Black Knights taking Icebox and winning the series 2-0. Let's go to Rocket League with the St. Lawrence Saints and the Bengals of Buffalo State. Down by 1 in game number 3, and the Bengals are looking for that equalizer in the final minute of the game. Luckily, Jesco decides that, yeah, overtime is probably a good thing going into the last minute.
It's hard in order to even think about getting an insurance goal here.
Oh boy, it does feel like SLU as well, just trying to play survival mode. No, maybe they're thriving instead. A good bouncer from Elmo Fingers does get past one defender. Turks moving this across the width of the field. The pinch, finding the midfield here. Good catch from Jesco, putting a shot on target as well. Jesco!
Overtime, it would go in game number 3, and actually the Saints would win overtime, but as for the series, it would be all Buffalo State taking the dub 4-1. Overwatch 2 action with the Great Danes of Albany and the Spartans of UNC Greensboro. Third map on Havana, and the Great Danes won and cap first point in just under a minute. But Magix has a trick up their sleeve, and in fact, they might have more than one.
Out of here, they want to get that kill, and they're doing it. Jesse, they are doing it. Now Magix is back on the field. Lobs Nick's head, oh my god! Showing Volks in the business end of that too. The payload is still being contested, and it's all, oh my.
Not only is Magix one a sniper, but the Spartans had a one of their own in the form of a broom, as the Spartans would go on to win the series 3-0. To League of Legends, where the Polar Bears of Ohio Northern take on the Dukes of James Madison. 12th minute in game number 2, and the Polar Bears want their second dragon. On the Kiana, though, Shomi is about to show us what robbery on the Rift looks like.
Great rotation onto this. They got the first dragon. They are likely to pick up the second here, and the Shomi can somehow make this work.
Well, they're trying, and over the wall, they got a ward and said snipe, and the steal! The steal from Shomi said you only...
Dragon stolen, and even with the kill lead, the Polar Bears also got that stolen away. In the end, Dukes would come out with the dub 2-0. Let's head to Overwatch 2 action with the Aggies of Utah State taking on the Rams of Colorado State. Down a map on Nepal, and the Rams need to make some sort of comeback to force map 3. Well, a crazy team fight leads up to why Death Trap lives up to the tag.
You're going to be in a great position. This Dragon Strike might be able to create some separation, but Cass is just taking heads.
Cass rolls the head of the finish right now. There's the Terror Search. Is he going to find anything is the question. Immortality View happened to be used. This Death Trap finds a triple. Oh my goodness. Death Trap finds a fourth. He's going to find the team kill. It's now the Rams would force map number 3, but the Aggies were too strong for the rest of the contest, and the Utah State Aggies get the sweep 3-0. To Summoner's Rift in League, where the Aztecs of San Diego State take on the Spartans of San Jose State. Game 1 and all the advantages to the Aztecs 30 minutes in, and Devour on the Caitlyn makes sure it stays that way to march to the base.
Half health. Actually, with the Chaos Storm dropped as well, that might be the go button as everyone follows the rock, and it's not going to be enough off the outset. Goku shut down in the back line, and it's all falling apart for this fight that San Jose chose to take. The ADCs are all together. Piao picked up a kill on the backside. Tabula Rasa's surviving forever. Eventually,
the Aztecs would go on to win game number 1, but something clicks in the Spartans, and San Jose would win the series 2-1. To Valorant with Andromeda taking on the University of Houston Scarlet team. Map number 2 on Fracture, and Andromeda wants to push A site, but Binko is sitting around the corner, and even with little to no utility, Binko just finds a way to make heads roll.
1-for-1 trade, make it 1-for-2 as Slorth takes down Altier, trying to trade for Orchid. Binko now trapped in a corner. They're shooting out the Prowlers, and there's not a lot of places that Binko can go, but now only Slorth being the one peeking. Oh, Binko, what was that?
Binko calls bingo on the ace, and it would be Houston who calls game on Fracture as they win the series 2-0.
To come through, it's just playing aimbot.
And that's it from Top Plays of the Week from Esports U. Thanks for watching, everybody, and until next time, this is Clutch Key signing off.
I can't say that. I'll get in trouble. There's one for each game, so teams this weekend, somebody's going to have to explain to TSA why they're coming home with an extra trophy. Fine. We're fine. This is going to be great. Why is everybody staring at me? I'm not even doing anything yet. Is it because I'm in a suit? It looks nice. It's new. I'm stressing. It's all right. We win these. We absolutely win these. I've never seen us lose these. I love him. I don't remember his name. What is going on, everybody? And oh, are we ready? I'll start over. Okay. What's going on, everybody? We are here at the Collegiate Esport Commissioners Cup 2022 in Atlanta, Georgia. The players are just now entering the arena for day one. A lot of them had the opportunity to be here yesterday to get jerseys, to get familiar with the area, and to get to know one another. But today, the friendly gloves have to come off, and they are all here. Earlier, I was talking to these guys. This mannequin, when they didn't have anything else set up, I could see it from all the way down there, and I thought it was a person. And I stood there for like 5 minutes, and I was like, why is he standing like that? And I thought it was like a smooth criminal. I thought somebody was giving us like a Michael Jackson impression, and then it was a mannequin. I was really embarrassed.
We're at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Let's make some noise.
Oh, and it's gonna
jumped into it.
This corner judge is good for 1, 2, yeah. He needs more. And
they're doing even more here. You gotta touch the point. Mr. College walks it in.
Toy Boy is gonna drop.
Knife him.
Right out in front.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, running. Hello and welcome everyone. We are excited to be here and ready for some League of Legends action. It is a Friday, but that means the teams are just now heating up and ever further as we are into round 2 of the ECAC playoffs. Very, very excited to be here. My name is Orbital. With me is Soph-Chan, and we will be covering the matchup here tonight, and it is going to be a very entertaining one, a David versus Goliath matchup, one that has been played out time before. It is JMU coming out against ONU, and those two teams, JMU, James Madison, currently sitting at first seed, and ONU, they are going to be working their way up from 9th seed.
Yeah, it's going to be very important for them to try to get something here. Coming from 9th seed, they're going to fight real hard. It's a best of 3, so they have to get it going. If they don't get it in the first game, try to go in for game 3, because if you don't get it, you're going to be out, and it's quarterfinals. Everything is on the table.
Yes, it's so scary. And again, as we said, these two teams have played before. They have fought against each other back in the regular season, and it was, to say the least, one of the rougher matchups, if I do remember correctly, which I was informed that I actually was on this broadcast before. And it's quite fun because I do like to see returning teams, but that was a situation that I'm not sure if Ohio Northern would really like to remember. During that matchup, it was a very, very difficult one. In game number 1, we really saw Shoma just come out like a beast. The jungler for the side of James Madison was a monster throughout a majority share for it. So Shomi is going to be very, very fun, and hopefully get to see a return of the aggression and absolute domination.
Yeah, and it's something that's always nice about Collegiate, right? You're going to fight them in the regular season, and then if you go to playoffs, you might have a chance to fight them. Now it's going to be that turn on the quarterfinals. And as you said, Orbital, that first game where they fought each other, it was very hard for ONU. It was a 22 versus 7 kills on the other side for JMU, so they're going to fight very hard for this one. The second match was a little closer, but still a victory for JMU, so a sweep for them, but instead it was 37 to 22 kills in the board for this matchup. So they proved that they can go further, that they can improve, and that they can show how they can adapt to this versatility that JMU can bring to the table.
Yes, very, very excited to do so. And for time, I am excited to see this best of 3 play out because, again, it's a chance to move up in the single elimination bracket. These teams will be duking it out for a chance in round number 3. And that'll be the semifinals. The winner of this matchup will go on to face the winner of St. Lawrence League of Legends versus Pace League of Legends Gold. And that one should also be quite interesting. We'll try and keep you updated as time goes on, but that one I'm very, very excited to see. So for right now, I mean, I got to ask you, so with these two teams, as we had discussed before, it's a David versus Goliath, right? ONU, they're going to be working their way up here, and I mean, do you see a chance for them? Do you see an opportunity? I mean, do you believe in the David versus Goliath matchup? Or is it more just like, let's go with like the baseline, you know, this is the first seed?
Oh, come on. No, I think coming into playoffs, you'll always have a chance to get things going. And as I said, they had a much better game in the second game of the last best of three. They faced each other. So they proved that they can get things going. And with the time that they had during the season, I don't really remember which week of the regular season they faced each other. So they had more matches to coming. They had more time to just get more cohesive as a team, increase better communication between each other, and just be more solid as a composition. So with that, I think they come into the playoffs much more prepared, and I think that's a big chance that they might come around, take us to a game 3, and we'll see how it goes from there.
All right, well, we'll have to take eyes and see for ourselves how this one plays out. Again, for the start, ONU will be on the blue side, and they'll be working their way forward through the bans here, whether they decide to go ahead, ban away the jungle, or leave it open. It'll be all up to themselves for JMU. I'm very, very curious to see where they target. Last time around, it was, I want to say a little bit slower. It was more standard, more meta in terms of what they took away. But you can see here, ONU already targeting that top side.
Yeah, they're targeting the top side, and one thing that you mentioned earlier was the pressure that Shomei had in the jungle for JMU when they faced each other. That is something to keep in mind as well. They had that Gragas popping off and then a Kiana. We don't see her that often, but if you get the technicalities and the mechanics behind her, you can really bring such good value to the table. James Madison is going to start that bends with a Yone, so focusing more like middle to top pressure, a Shen as well, so no protection all around the map, no global shielding, and Ohio Northern goes for Darius next, so definitely big focus on top lane.
Yep. Focus on top as well as in mid, sending out that Zed ban, which I think is very, very telling. It's the respect, right? You don't see Zed too often either. So this is a challenge a little bit to JMU, just saying, hey, we don't want to deal with these specific champions. We don't want to let the game out of our control. And the Caitlyn ban, JMU going ahead saying, hey, that's the one that we don't want to deal with. And you know, that leaves open so many priority ADCs. The Xayah that I know you had talked about previously, and there it is locked in, especially with ONU going for the Rakan. And JMU lock in such a stalwart bot lane.
Yeah, they do. Interesting that Ohio Northern decided to go for the Rakan. So instead of getting the Xayah for themselves, they said, well, we feel more comfortable with other ADCs on the hands of Reaper, so we're just going to take that Rakan out of the table for the enemy Xayah. They do pick it for James Madison, and with the Lulu, gosh, as you said, really nicely well-rounded bot lane.
Yeah, it's one that you're excited for, but this is a great way to tank through it. ONU rocking with that Olaf in the jungle, and that one should be a pain to deal with. Again, with the Lulu, you're so happy about picking it up. You're so happy about getting the slows, the polymorphs, and everything of the sort. You can't polymorph a Ragnarok Olaf, so this is a very straight shot forward. ONU saying, we are going to deal with those slows and with those heals as simply as we know it. But they are going for a defensive ADC, the Ezreal also to come out, and a Kindred. So JMU is saying, all right, you want to bring the pain, we'll make sure the pain doesn't go through under a certain threshold.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's going to be a nice defensive pick for James Madison compared to what Ohio Northern just brought with the defensive ADC. So I think it's interesting what they're going for. We're definitely going to expect a heavy AP damage coming in the mid lane for James Madison. They already have that sort of protection from the Lulu and the Kindred, so it's time to get something more aggressive to pair up with a Xayah, something that might apply even more CC, because as you said, the Olaf is going to be unstoppable. Second round of bans as started out, James Madison going for that Wukong and on, so pressure there for the top lane, as we're probably going to see. Wait, interesting. Are they thinking that maybe the Olaf is going to be either jungle or top lane? It's possible.
Yeah, I can see the swap, and I think it's appreciated, right? You do just say, hey, look, it's a chance, and the Wukong is enough to disrupt most of the plans that JMU are currently laying down, so you know what, we'll give that sort of benefit of the doubt across the board. What I am looking for is ONU don't really have any extra buffing behind the Olaf. All you see is the Rakan, so I want to see a little bit more dive follow through as well. I want to see ONU lay down some extra forward momentum, because right now JMU have a very scatter composition. The Xayah can get away, the Kindred can stay alive, the Ahri can get away. I want to see more chase. I don't want to see ONU play one-dimensional. Let's see a bit more of that chase come through, or a bit more raw damage as well. And there's that Gragas that people are constantly talking about. You can chase through with the belly slam as well as with the cask. I find that very, very appropriate.
Definitely, and coming in with nice AP damage as well. I think that if we had that sort of pressure in the mid lane coming, for example, from an Orianna, I think it could combo well with the Rakan for the Shockwave. Maybe a Syndra, I don't think she would combo that well. I think the Orianna would be much more well-rounded in this case. She would be nice and safe in the laning phase as well against the Ahri because she's not going to be... Oh, wait, what? Is this production? Are we all right with this pick? Is this a mistake? Are we good?
We are quite curious about this because again, for ONU, this is a Rakan as well as a Braum. So if this is on hit Braum or Rakan, this is gonna be this is gonna be interesting, and I think that's the right call. Mordekaiser saying, all right, if that's what you guys want to play, sure, go for it. This is
interesting to say the least, right, Orbital?
Yeah,
I think I'm going to bet that this is, if this is actually the case, I would say Graga's
right.
mid, Graga is right. Graga's mid, Olaf jungle, Braum top, and Rakan support.
yes. So
I'm gonna take a sip of water. I was not prepared for that.
no, I don't think anyone was, and I can kind of understand. You know, this is like. I want to say full kind of solo queue testing, you know, the hypothesis work here. I want to say Braum on their own on the auto attack path, when you use the concussive blows, you actually do get extra damage if you hit all four and then they are like brittled almost for the extended duration. There's a possibility of it. I understand the theory behind it, but it's just like, again, two supports here. I almost expect if you place one of them in the top side or even in the mid, it's the funnel strat, right? You send one of them mid lane, and you just let the Olaf roll as much as you can. But it's scary. I'm not sure if this is actually what... I mean, ONU picked it, but there are so many things that could go wrong that we're really hoping they don't.
Yeah, I am definitely on the same page there, Orbital. On the other side, you have James Madison with such a standard composition. They have Peel, they have a not super bruiser jungler, but they have a more marksman related with the Kindred. You have engaging potential and chasing potential with the Ahri. You have denial with the Shadow Realm from Mordekaiser. It's a tank, it's the front line. While the growth from Lulu as well. There's just so much that can get this composition going. It just feels incredibly solid. Nothing really out of the box, just plain good League of Legends strategy. On the other side, well, if that is indeed what they picked, I want them to blow my mind because I'm already blown away, but I want to see this go right for them.
Yeah, there's so many things, and again, we're very, very interested to see how this one plays out, but we have to see it go well. And again, JMU are the squad that are slated to win this one. They are first seed, they are very, very strong, and they have built themselves a very standard composition. It's on ONU to try and bring a little bit of the hype, so we'll go ahead, go to a very, very short break, and we'll see what they got in store for us here. Please don't go anywhere. The ECAC will be right back.
Outside. We're going to interview people when they come in. I don't really want to go outside. It looks like it's going to rain, and this suit is new, so... Oh, there's Doc Haskell. Hi, Doc. How are you? He brings a full notebook with him and, like, writes notes down. It was pretty insane. He had it yesterday. He's going to be coming through this metal detector right here. I don't know his name, though, but I recognize his hair.
Jen.
You're Jen? All right, we're going to interview Jen, who's supporting Kennesaw. I'm going to ask you, like, a couple of very simple questions. Okay. Are we ready? All right, great. College. I really like Georgia College's color scheme. It's just red, white, and blue, I think, but I think they did it in a really clever way. Mineral area wearing hoodies, even though it is 75 degrees outside here in Atlanta, Georgia. Absolute legends.
If only Nick could hear you. Nick, come back.
If he's over 100 feet away, he can't.
You were whispering something, and he started smiling. I'm like, are you whispering?
Oh, yeah, because he's got his headphone in if we're close enough, but...
Bless you.
Gesundheit. Gesundheit again. You're welcome. I'm gonna go find him. Oh, there he is! Oh my! Oh, okay. Real stuff is starting. Real stuff. Competitive integrity needs to be upheld. We gotta get out of here. Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. I get really embarrassed when I get yelled at. 30 is okay. Wow, it's not 10:30 yet.
It's only like barely 10.
Woo! All right, it's gonna be a long. Hey, what's up? Surprise interview. Join me over here. We have a cool backdrop. What are we here for?
Rocket League.
Awesome. I'm not going to ask what school you go to because unless you swapped hoodies, that seems pretty clear.
Nope. You know, I got my jersey on with my name on it.
Oh, you do? Show us your jersey. Look at John T. Turbo here. Yeah, that's not his name. I just keep calling him that. Yeah. His name is John, but
my name is John Turbesi.
Yeah, that's not John T. Turbo.
Yeah, I get the message that I'm going to Nebraska where I met you.
Oh, that's so crazy. So context, if we're probably not going to use this, but we're going to talk about it. Turbo and I met at a LAN like over a year ago. That's so great. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. I am Sebdolence, joined by a man I have interviewed probably well over 10 times. It's going to be my good friend Neb here from Bay State Overwatch team. Neb looked at me before he started his last series, and he said, "We are not dropping a map for the rest of the day." And so far, he has lived up to that title. But Neb, is there anybody you're thinking, we've got to get them out of the way, we've got to take them down?
No.
No? Just looking at it, each fight's its own, every game going into it, just taking it as it comes?
I have the confidence right now that we're not going to drop a single map.
I love Neb because not only is he confident, but he's correct. Bay State is one of the best Overwatch teams I've ever seen. So it's always good to hear from. I love the confidence, and I love Bay State, so I hope they do a great job this weekend. So what qualifier, did you win a qualifier to get here?
At-large bid.
We're looking at Rocket League, we're thinking high odds, low odds, where do we think we're walking away?
I think pretty high. I think we're doing pretty good.
Is there anybody that you're looking at, you're like, please do not let us go up against them unless we absolutely have to?
I mean, really, everybody's good competition, so.
And sorry, what was your name?
Ethan.
Ethan from Mineral area.
Yep.
Very exciting. Well, Ethan, good luck.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. What kind of pass? A player pass?
Let me get you a lanyard.
No, you actually have to like tape it to your chest, like really awkwardly with masking tape. Okay. And it's gonna fall off. Yeah. It's gonna be uncomfortable, I promise. That's a guarantee. Okay, cut that, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, great. I'm great, everything's good.
Who do we interview? Who should we interview?
I don't know, I'm just here. I need caffeine.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the ECAC Top Plays of the Week. I am Sebdolence, and I'm super excited to walk through these with you so you can see all of the great moments we are getting out of collegiate esports. One of my favorite things about these seasons is as they go on, as the years continue to pass, the skill ceiling just gets higher and higher, and the teams get better and better. Starting things off in week 1 and 2, these teams came out the gate swinging. Let's take a look at what they were ready to bring out in these early weeks. Valorant is a game all about risk versus reward, and Sin from NYIT wanted to show us just how much he was willing to risk to get that great reward of a round win.
Sort of forced to pop off, maybe get a little bit more sniper play, but these direct tight angles make it tough. You have Axeris that actually gets a wall bang headshot onto Prime. Oh, that timing on the paranoia works so well.
Yo, give it up for the util, bro. Sin's gonna pick up 3 into the site. A lurk on its way from the chamber, but unless you're gonna spam through this box, you're not getting anything done, and Panda won't even let him get that far.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is a game that can be decided in milliseconds, and Waka, one of the best players from SUNY Canton A Squad, wanted to show us just what they can do with only a second and a single stock on the board.
Cena, sledge option going to be charging for Smash, going a little early. They're not quite getting what you want. Drop shield after first hit, and Pin getting hit by the kid. High percent. There is the stun into Claw. That clock has been charged for a lot longer. Oh my goodness, that's a forwarder into stage with the stage spike and then upping immediately after. What a sick.
1 point in Rocket League can never make a team feel comfortable, but Driftsy wanted to show us that not only was he going to pick the pace up, but he wasn't going to let his team down.
Defensive test with flying colors, though they couldn't get out, and that is the important part at the moment. Clears a must for UA, and it's just not in the cards at the moment.
Dripsy! Dripsy connects off the backboard! What a shot! I watched it unfold slowly! You stopped speaking at just the right moment.
Valorant is often called a team-based shooter, but sometimes it can't just be about the team. Sometimes you've got to have those hero plays. Spec wanted to spray and pray and was actually able to save the...
And we are back and ready to go, and you know what? It's game 1. Have fun with it. Tango Charlie is on the Braum in the mid lane. We were dancing around with what this could be. I thought it was going to be funnel, but it is on it. Nope. Yes. Okay. It's exactly what I thought. Thank you so much. I said a possible funnel with the Recon mid. I'll take that.
Nicely done. We love some predictions getting realized here. Nice. Okay, are they going to engage? There's no vision. We'll see if that's going to be the case. Zerny. Alright, they get to escape here. They're going to take some damage. No. That's just going to whiff away. But still, Nice, making some pressure. ONU starting now as the 9th seed, so it's good for them to at least show some confidence around.
Yeah, this is, I mean, they know they're up against a pretty hefty team here, and the fact that they're trying to go for this is quite surprising. So, again, the idea behind the Recon is not to actually win. It's the same reason that we used to see, you know, Lulu in the mid lane and all that, and even Tark in the mid lane. It was specifically to try and hone the jungle into a carry position. With this lock-in, unless Creature is just saying we will win, unless Creature is saying this Recon mid is OP with the AP, expect Olaf to be playing around that mid lane. Expect Football to be sitting in that mid lane, centered on the quarterback pretty much, and that's all it's going to be. And for Sightless, Sightless is probably going to have a fantastic time. I mean, funnel strats, they only really work if you fall for it, so I expect the Ari to have a pretty delectable time and be able to power through and become a monster.
Yeah, on the map we have 2 wards already there scouting around the area for the GMU jungle. So no vision whatsoever from the blue side. They are definitely in the dark. No idea where the opponent jungler is going to be. Bot lane, just as usual, fighting here for the level 2. Football might be going for this steal, but as I said, there is vision, so at least they're going to know about it. It's probably going to be a counter steal from GMU going into ONU's blue buff.
Yep, it's going to be a little bit of vertical jungling unless Show Me feels like they can't do anything about it, but it's a great start. Again, as in Olaf, you do want to be putting on the pressure, so I expect a little bit of a clear and maybe a jump down because, especially with the pinch coming in here, Football might be in a rough position.
Yeah, they might. The bot lane and the mid lane are coming in, and there's going to be a massive collapse. First blood for the ADC. Perfect outcome for GMU. Oh, they're gonna keep on stunning here. They have the slow from the Lulu coming as well, and Reaper falling down on health. They're gonna have to pop all that pots. They're just out of it now. No, they're gonna be thirsty.
This is now devastation for the side of ONU because this is actually twofold, right? Number one of your big carries, the whole reason that you're playing kind of Recon mid, is going to be that Olaf. It is now taken down. You are now behind by a fair bit. Not only that, another carry that you were hoping to have in that bot side, and Reaper is now being punished for that invade by the Olaf. Football granting double buffs over to Zorni. That's not good, right? Reaper and Tango Charlie do not have any control over the bot side. That's Xayah, a champion that we know very well to be a carry threat, now has free roam and free lane to gather power, to gather items, to gather gold. Expect a fairly large deficit in that bot side that Reaper and Tango Charlie will not be able to deal with.
And one thing, Orbital, I think that we missed from Football in that invade was they had the detection. They could have tried to detect it. They could have tried to save it for the detection if you're going to invade, but they didn't do it. So they ended up overstaying on that side of the map. Show Me here. Maybe getting this blast going, Creature just around the corner. Football in the bush. They're going to meet each other. The 1v1 is going to start. There's still a blast going around. Some damage is being taken from both sides. Scythe is coming. They go in, and the charm is going to land on Creature. The ignite is going to pop a lot of damage as well, but they haven't fallen just yet. You have a look at Gragas scouting around, getting the flank position, but so is the Mordekaiser. They get a nice escape. They don't get hooked. And the charm is not going to land either. Pursuit hasn't finished though. Show Me is going in, but so is the belly slam here from Gragas. They fall instead, and the Kindred over the wall is gonna still keep healthy. We'll see if they're gonna try to get something for a dive, and they do. Massive damage on Gragas, but still not enough to take it. At the end of the day, still successful for GMU.
GMU are ruling right now. Remember, they did that all off on the wrong side of the map. For them, it was just free real estate. It was free money for them to be able to pull that off. And Show Me has yet to back as well. With the kill and assist under the belt, 20, so that is 5 camps, I believe, in their pocket as well. They'll have plenty to work with, right? You can see it right there, even taking the futures market to gather up even more so. You're ready to rock right with the Noon Quiver. Your clear is going to be that much faster, and Football is going to be set ever further behind because that is now 2 deaths that you have eaten up. You are going to be able to get back out on the Rift a little bit faster, but still, it is painful. You will not be able to tango with JMU at all, and because of that, you are relegated to just lane ganks.
Yes, they're going for a lane gank right now. They don't have vision. GMU in this bot lane. Reaper trying to freeze the lane. but maybe they got a little suspicious about it. They're not pushing any forward. No, now they do. The moment has arrived and the stun is going to get the Lulu in place. Football trying to get them down, but Reaper is just going to be one auto attack away. They managed to get another stun, but they haven't finished anyone down yet. It's going to be the first blood here for the Olaf on the Xayah. Very nicely done. They land that one to slow the Kindred down once more, and they might be able to escape, and they do. What a turnaround here for ONU, Orbital.
That was one of the hardest forces I've seen happen on a gank, and then a little bit of greed coming out of Zorni. It was well played. ONU, they knew that they had some potential. That's why they picked up the Braum, and they go for it. Well played, and then playing off of the greed, right? Zorni does fall just trying to go for that final kill. But I think the damage is still done, right? You take a look at the difference of the ADCs. It is Football that is still the only one gaining a lot of momentum out of this. And the plates are already down. So with that kill on the bot side, JMU, they aren't fully threatened. But it is a right step for the side of ONU if they can continue walking forward. Of course, this is another problem
Speaking of walking forward, there we go, Creature. Oh, nice! They get the help there from Football to get away with a shield, but they're still pretty much surrounded here in that jungle. Tango Charlie is, well, they don't get there in time. They're gonna get some help for Creature, but the Olaf has already fallen. They use the blast cone, but GMU has all the control over the blue side jungle.
This is a problem. Again, for the side of JMU, they are pushing the pace of this game. They are pushing forward. They're saying, okay, we know we're strong. We know that we're stronger at this point in the game. And ONU can't do anything about it. So we're going to keep gathering up extra information. We're going to gather all the extra buffs. And we're going to completely stifle Football out. Take a look at the CS differential, right? You're about 4 camps behind on Football. Show Me is in complete control here, and that will continue bleeding over. The plates aren't even down. There are only 2 plates down, or just 1 plate down on the side of ONU's side, but they have no control. When you still have all your outers up, when you still have all of your towers up, and the opponent can run in and out of your jungle like that, it's unfortunately a very lost cause. You have to be in damage control mode.
Yeah, and the mental behind it as well for GMU is amazing because they know that they can do that, so they're not taking even any seconds to just go and do Drake, because you don't really need to do it that early into the game. You can just assert the presence in your enemy's jungle and get things going from there. Just, you have your enemy in 20, yeah, there you go. 20 CS behind, which is going to be massive. 3 deaths for the Olaf 2. And that is just going to slow down the rest of all the lanes, isn't it?
It is, and with an Infernal Drake on the field as well, you were really, really hoping to get that early dragon, right? Olaf, one of the best at early dragons, but if you're not able to, it's just, it's kind of lost there, and you can see the fight coming in here. Even with the Spirit Rush, probably should be fine.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna go in on the Ari instead. Oh, the comeback! Okay, they get a nice dodge on it, so the true damage is not going to land. So the assist from Creature was definitely enough. Okay, I saw a little step back here. I was a little worried for Football, but they managed to escape. Nicely done. I think that even though there is so much pressure from GMU, ONU still keeping some confidence and at least acknowledgement of what's happening in the map.
Again, it's one of those handed kills, though, right? Sightless was out. Sightless could have easily gotten out there, but decided to try and fight back. And we did see the power of the Olaf or Khan that ONU are hoping to show us here. They are hoping to play off of those heals, off of those knockups, off of those taunts and charms. It's a very real possibility, but they need about 3 or 4 more kills like that before they can start feeling confident in those takes, right? Because you got the kill, and yet you lose out on the dragon. Upcoming is now the mountain. That's going to be really, really nice to try and play on. And now DDD on this top side is getting some bully power down on Motor.
Yes, they are. You would expect the Gragas to be doing well, dealing some damage with the cast, but so far, nothing really happening. They're going to be going for a Herald instead. The jungler and the support, so Tango Charlie very far away from their hometown. They're gonna get the first concussive strike onto Sightless. There's going to be another one. They flash, and the forced flash is going to be massive for ONU because on the hands of that mid laner. Well, you have the jungler coming in. Is it a steal?
Oh, no way, you got it.
Okay, they've got, wait.
They picked it up. It is ONU, they picked it up, and now it's a fight to break out from here. JMU gonna roll out because DDD won on the top side. It is now scurrying for safety. Sightless with the Spirit Rush is gonna try and take their way in. But it was a 1v1 in the top side that DDD won, and now it's Olaf going down, and Creature stuck, trying to just get out of that jungle route.
Yeah, they have to use their ulti to get out, and again, JMU just has all the control over the side of the jungle. They can't do anything. At least they guarantee their Herald for themselves, so Football might be able to apply some pressure on other lanes. They're still pushing pretty harshly here. JMU in the mid lane. The assist from Brum is gonna get there. They might even get the final hit to stun, and they do it, but once again, there is no damage. The rest of the team has arrived. It's gonna be Olaf trying to do something. They're gonna go on the Kindred. They're kiting them away. The Olaf is gonna die instead. The damage from the Wolf is going to be enough, but the True Shot Barrage instead is not enough to take Show Me down.
And at this point, ONU realized their backs are up against the wall. You saw Creature and Tango trying to go for that fight. They tried to pick it out as nicely as possible, but it just doesn't work there. So now it is full on damage control. Football, you can see it. CS out the window. You don't care about that. You aren't going to get the camps as nicely as you would like. You are now down 10 camps against the likes of Show Me. So at this point, it really is just try and get anything that you can, playing around this mid lane, kind of rushing forward. I like the idea. I like the idea that ONU are coming up with. There are better champions for it, I think. But, of course, we're going to wait and see. Football, even through all the deaths, still has the 2 kills for the team. So, hey, maybe you get to expand upon that here coming into the mid game.
Yeah, we sure hope so that happens for ONU. On the side of GMU, they're just expiring now, but the vision that they had all over that jungle, insane. Wherever they go, they have the potential to just take the fights, take the objectives, and apply pressure. Speaking of, we might see DDD and Show Me engaging onto Murders. Okay, they're trying to be a little more safe about it. Bot lane, Reaper taking damage from Zorni. And to be fair, the Ezreal is still very power on CS, so that's going to be good for them, because if he can reach that at least 2 item power spike, that would be the point for you to try to turn things around. Top lane, Show Me trying to get that gank going, but they're still very safe about it. They might go for the dive. They do. There's going to be the tower targeting DDD. The last hit is going to land. Wait, why did you go to that side? All right, Kindred ulti is popped. Wait, what? Excuse me? It was just at the edge. They're very unfortunate for them. The Mordekaiser goes down.
It was going to be the Mordekaiser on the bot side, but you saw the re-engage on the bot for ONU. They said, hey, top side's getting slaughtered, and it feels unfortunate. Motors might have been able to do something else behind that, but the ulti was actually stolen away by the Realm of Death, and now this is going to be a problem. It's another fight breaking out here, 2v4. Oh, dear.
Yeah, 2v4 happening really nicely for ONU. They get 1 charge from the Herald. Not that much damage. The platings are still all there. There's still 1 very closely getting down, but they still get 1 kill, which is good for them. They need to try to reestablish that presence on the rest of the map. Maybe Olaf still going there. We got the pings in the map. Zorni might be going too further forward. You're going to try to get that slow. You don't manage to do it. ADC trying to get that final hit, and they do. The Xayah tries to commit. Oh, the minions. Did you see the minions, Orbital?
Yes, the minions were having a little bit of fun, but it is still JMU playing with a little bit too much fire. They understand that the composition out of ONU is not going to have as much strength in the mid to late game. So you're playing with a bit of fire, right? Zorni was out once again. Lando, stepped up a little bit too far in the early stages, but I'm liking it, right? Again, they are taking these risks. They know it's a game number 1, and they know their composition affords this type of early game misstep. They're allowed this safety net that will be covered in the mid to late. So for right now, JMU are just like, yeah, we're okay with this. We're up in CS in some of the lanes, and most of the lanes at least. Our jungle is powering through. Show Me will carry later on. And I mean, they're going to play off that fact so much. So expect them to continue kind of putting their best foot forward. You can see it here, right? This dragon now being taken away once again. JMU on top of the global objectives.
Yes, they are. Olaf is just going back to base. They're not going to be able to do anything about it. Bot lane has to be careful. They don't have any vision at all. Just that little bush where the Lulu was just at, but the rest of the river, the rest of the jungle is all red. And with that, Shomi can just take everything, any camps that they would want, and even take a flank here. Mike trying to get something onto Reaper. You see the little pet from the jungler. I don't think they spotted it. No pinks coming. Olaf is going to try to get there in time. They are sensing something is wrong about this, but Sightless has roamed down bot lane too. It's going to be a 4v3 if they manage to get something in this dive. Creature has followed as well. The True Shot Barrage is just going to land on Lando, and the Feather Storm is going to get Xayah away from damage. They have to flash away as well, but they take Olaf in the process. Stun is going to land onto the Kindred, but it's not enough. Xayah gets another kill on the Rakan, double kill. They probably going to go for another one. It's not a triple for the Xayah, but it's another kill for the Ahri instead. They try to get the Braum, but at least they stay alive.
And that's the difference between having 2 supports and multiple more damage dealers. You saw all 3, the ones on your screen, the Ahri, the Kindred, and the Xayah, all of them unleashing the strength that they've been holding back on. And remember, all the earlier kills that ONU had, it came because there was a player disadvantage. It's because it was a 2v1, 3v2, or anything of the sort. This time around, it was a much more brutal blow, and now DDD on the top side is going to get their 2nd solo kill of the game.
Yeah, bonked that to finalize that kill. DDD now on 3-1 and 2. And the positive scores all around the map for GMU. 300 gold bounty for this Kindred, who has converted so much gold around the map with 6 assists. They're going to start this Herald as well. They've already taken 2 Drakes, so their dominance is explicit.
It's been so good, and at this point, I think JMU can really just storm down the base wherever they want to go. They could go through mid. Top side is also easily broken. They don't even really have to look for fights. They can force these fights under the tower, even though they don't really have a siege composition. That's just how strong they are. Take a look at this. It's a 4-man push with the Rift Herald, and I don't even think ONU can really stop it. I expect 2 charges, maybe 3.
Yeah, it's possible. So much damage going on to Charlie is already. The charge from the Herald is going to land, but Shumi is very close there on health. The True Shot Barrage doesn't take them down. They use their ulti, and the TP coming on the Herald is going to keep them happy for a little bit longer. The Olaf takes the Kindred down. 2 down for ONU, and the push from JMU shows and proves relentless with a 7k gold bounty and over double of the kills on the board.
Credit to ONU. They knew they had an issue coming up. They knew they had problems, and they took a fight they felt they had to take. And again, if they didn't, that Herald was going to get more charges off. It was going to be painful, and they did stop it at just 1, but they lose so many. JMU rightfully take that fight. They get so much gold that, you know, hey, show me. Might have stepped up a little bit too much, but you take a look down the line right now. 4 kills on just about every primary carry. DDD, Sightless, Zorni, all going back with massive bounties on their head. This is a powerful statement. JMU saying, we don't care if you're 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 9th seed. We will fight you at our strongest, and I love it.
Yeah, me too. That is no mercy whatsoever. It's just showing that quality in every single game. And once again, I have to talk about this vision. Look at that. You don't see that much vision in a League of Legends game that often. And it's amazing. Look. There's nothing for the blue side, and all lit up for the red. They might fight each other here in the red side, the blue side of the jungle football. Okay, Tango is going to be the one to try to get something going. Football is taking damage instead. They go unstoppable. The Braum goes in front of them, so that's going to be a lot of damage eaten by the tank creature. They're around, but GMU has dictation on how this game goes.
They have the baton. They are in the conductor seat. I 100% agree. They control everything. The fact that for right now, Shomi has been done with the egg for so long, the extra smite stuff, it's been done for so long. Currently has 160 CS behind him. Football is still sitting on 4 more camps. They do not have the 900 smite, which means all global objectives are currently in control of Shomi. That's how far they are. It's a 3-level lead as well, so Shomi just saying this is all ours. You will not have any sort of value. You'll have to fight your way through your bare teeth. I love it. They are waiting around for this dragon again. It is a cloud dragon, so, you know, not the most impactful in the world, but it's really just putting yourself on soul point while the Ahri is getting free farm on the other side. It's a very, very stifling, it's a suffocating tactic that JMU are laying down, and it's very clinical. This is by far one of those moments where you're just like, okay, you knew ONU were going to try and pull something out, so JMU just play it by the book. Every single piece of the map will be under their control.
Yeah, the puzzle is completed for GMU. They know exactly how to play it. We have the rotation coming from ONU to the Baron side, but they definitely don't have enough damage to try to do something. Just scouting around the area, trying to get some vision, but it's going to be taken out in return immediately by GMU, and even enticing them to take the Baron themselves. The rest of the team is on the other side. Rakan is on the other side. He has a TP, so does the Gragas. So even if they tried, well, it would have to be that sniper, the true shot barrage, but it's not going to happen. Red team has slain Baron Nesha, and they're going to go for a fight. Damage going on to Tango. Charlie TP on the ward in the back line. They're going to try to go on Reaper. Nice dash away. DDD taking damage. Might be taken down, but the shield is enough to keep them going. Reaper has to flash away. They missed the W, and that's not going to be a kill. The comeback in the flank from Sightless is going to finish the deal. The Ignite pops. The ulti comes in, and all the resets for the Ahri with a double kill in her hands and an ace.
I love it. It's clean. It is very straightforward League of Legends action, right? JMU were not phased by the early kills at all. They stood firm, they stood strong, and they said, we are going to play our own game, and I love it. It's only 22 minutes into the game. JMU are already knocking on the doors, and I don't think there is anything that can be done on the back end. So these towers are just going to fall, and ONU have one last chance.
Yeah, they just have one last chance. The both towers are going to be taken down. They have to force here. You have the Kindred ulti being popped already. They're going to have the healing coming through, but when you have the GMU team so focused on a win, they're not gonna go for the bait of a team fight. They will take down the Nexus.
It was so good and so clean, and once again it came from that jungle. Shomi was in control for the entirety of the time. There was not a point where I sat there and said Shomi's not in control. Yes, bot lane got a little bit out. You know, we did see the Xayah and Lulu get a little bit cheeky at points, but other than that, it was very clean. And I'm taking a look at this. Soph, is there going to be any change for ONU? What did you think of the double support composition?
I am going to be honest. I think, as you said, that if they were going for something similar, they could have picked different champions. At this point, considering how aggressive GMU can be and how clean and aggressive they can be, because sometimes aggression can lead into a little bit of overconfidence and just being premature on decisions. That's not what GMU brought to the table. So ONU knows that now, again, because they have fought each other in the past because of regular season. They have to come up with something different, I would say, this time around, because even if they were going for funneling, you don't have the damage to back it up. And we've seen these a couple of times in Collegiate. You have to know that someone has to deal the damage. And if you were just expecting the Ezreal to deal the damage, the enemy's not going to let the game run for that long for the Ezreal to deal damage.
That's fair. So we'll see if ONU have any sort of answer. We'll be right back with some more ECAC action as JMU look to move on to the semifinals. Don't go anywhere.
VSU tying up the series 7-7.
Hard B push here. 2 Omen smokes coming out. 1. Oh, Spec just finds 3. What? Straight through the smoke? Oh, one Spec. That's not legal, man. That's not legal. This is match day 2 of the ECAC League. You can't be doing that right now. Spec just goes with the call.
Here in this clip, Fanshawe finds themselves with their backs against the wall, 20 seconds left on the clock, and they're desperate to take down Wake Forest. They don't have anything to get through this team, they don't have any weapons on the field, but with Jackie Moon in the wings, at least they had a sniper.
Apparently. Guys gonna believe all the shots. Oh, a sniper! Jackie Moon from about midway through. What a shot right here from Jackie.
Wow, good eye sniper. Yes, sir. Jackie Moon puts us on the right side. A little bit more to the left. This one would have been...
here in this clip. We're going to get a great moment from a Pac-Man, and as a Pac-Man player, I was super excited to see it. We're going to hear a lot of praise from our commentators giving Mosey those compliments of choosing Snake against Pac-Man, a great counter pick. They were super excited to see a Snake on the field, but even without their blessing, Trollery does not yield.
Approach, but like you said, he's trying to play this safe because losing a stock right now for Concord would be really bad. And, well, a little bit of commentator's curse there. We kind of willed that one into existence. Oh, man. Oh my goodness! What?
Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, Septilence, how could that be all we got from weeks number 1 and 2? Please tell me there's more. If you like what you saw, you've got to go check out ECAC Esports on all social media platforms. Please see what they're bringing to the table. It is great collegiate esports week after week. On the bright side, folks, this is just the beginning. We've got the whole rest of what is guaranteed to be a great season ahead of us. Thank you so much for joining me for this recap, and I'll see you on the next one.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big
is that we don't have these preconceived notions, and we're willing to listen to our membership and read the room, read college athletics and how it's connected and how it's not, and take what we have expertise in championships, but also throw out some of the other stuff. I remember when we first started, there were some conferences were applying their amateurism rules to all of their esports competitors, and I think we knew enough to know that no, that's not going to work in an esports culture. It's got to be very different. And by the way, the NCAA was going in a different direction. You could see the train had already left the station on that, and so it's an incredibly dynamic area and ever changing, and will continue to change. And just as we didn't know when we started what it's going to be looking like, I think similarly we still don't know what it's going to be in another 5 years. I know enough to know that all of us are still going to have a thriving esports program that's doing a real good service for our members and for our competitors. But we still don't know necessarily what some of that is going to look like, and that's pretty cool about it all. Let me ask you this, because you all are used to dealing with your athletic directors, and each of them are dealing with what's in front of them in their athletic departments. My guess is at least some of your schools are that this is not necessarily operating within the athletic department. And can you talk about how you navigate that in a conference office, and maybe the best way to handle that, or do you have preferences? Do you try to steer them one way or the other? And just talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind.
Sure. The majority of our schools are not under the athletics umbrella. We have one institution that perhaps by next year will be under the auspices of athletics, but most of them are in other departments across campus. Right. One of the things that has helped us is that we have support from the president's office. And so in order to participate in Mountain West events, you have to have an adult non-student administrator that oversees that, the esport program. And that's where we get assistance with, eligibility checks and, please complete your roster, things like that. I don't know in the future, and it depends on, who's sitting in the athletics director's chairs, whether or not more esport teams will go under the umbrella of athletics. And I'm kind of indifferent in terms of whether it should, because I don't want esports to go down the road that some conventional sports have gone down with the NCAA. So we have a unique opportunity to kind of craft esports in a way that fits what esports is, as opposed to trying to fit it into a conventional athletics box, so to speak.
Right.
You know, I think the success of our program and getting participation is exactly that. The fact that we're not tying it in necessarily to athletics and NCAA eligibility. Like Carolyn, we probably have 3 or 4 schools that are under athletics. And I know it puts them in a difficult position sometimes trying to make some decisions. I got a request recently to consider allowing part-time students to participate during this year, because some schools struggle sometimes to fill out all the games that they want to play with us. And we held off on that for now. You know, we defer to the institution and say, what's your policy for those that are under student development or activities? What's your policy for allowing students to participate? And if you certify that they're eligible under your current policies, then that's good for us. I also think, and I was part of some of the conversations early on with the NCAA years ago about the NCAA getting involved as a Division II representative, and I was crossing my fingers that wouldn't happen, just because I think this needs time to grow, you know, and expand.
Can I ask a question, because you mentioned part-time enrollment, and one of the things that we've done here is that as a conference, we've just set eligibility standards, full-time enrollment, making progress towards your degree as the institution defines it. Are you guys doing something like that as well? Because we've gotten that part-time enrollment question and we've said no.
Yeah, no, I don't think we've gotten that far down the line, Carolyn, to ask for that. I think we kind of put it on the institution, but we do say that the student has to be a full-time. Now, they could be a full-time grad student, but they have to be full-time as from what the institution decides.
Yeah, our eligibility requirements are just as simple as can be. You have to be a full-time student in good standing.
Yes.
And after that, and that's about it. Now I think we wanted as few impediments to getting this thing rolling as possible in the outset. I do think as schools get more competitive, they will start to distrust one another, and that's why we have this 500-page NCAA manual, because schools distrust one another. But we're not there yet. You know, right now there's still a collective, let's move this forward. And the fact that the NCAA is not administering it, I think, is really helpful to the growth of it all. And yes, we allow grad students. We don't even have a 4 or 5 year clock. If you are full-time enrolled for 10 years in good standing, you can do, and why not? Why would we not say that that's okay? Now, eventually, like I said, we may change our minds if the schools require it. They say, no, this is crazy. Look what they're doing over there. We don't like, you know, but I think we're still a long way from that. Alex, do you have anything?
Yeah, I mean, I echo everything that really Carolyn has said, you know. You're going to have to forgive me. What was the original question? It's been a minute. I know. I'm sorry.
Well, just kind of what you set out to do, and then what maybe the realities of it all.
And we are back, ready to go with game number 2. It is ONU versus JMU, and these two teams tangled in game number 1, with JMU coming out with a fairly solid win. It was clinical, it was clean, it was precise, and they did some work. ONU, though, they're going to bring in some interesting members here coming in for this game number 2.
Yes, they are. A little difference here in the roster, but still is going to be a banger of a matchup once again. I think the most impressive thing that ONU brought to the table last match was the draft. It was innovative, fell a little short in execution. It happens. GMU, as you said, super clinical. They didn't let ONU take any advantage on that composition this time around. We hope to see something different because of this change in the roster from ONU, and I am very interested in what's going to come out to the Rift.
Yeah, this is gonna be some questions, right? Because we saw ONU try and run a double support composition. You try and run that. You try and run that recon in the mid lane. It's very, very kind of nice, but at the same time, go ahead, take a look on the right side of your screen. The Ohio Northern are on the red side this time. And there's a lot of new faces. They have actually gone ahead and had a full roster substitution here. So Ohio Northern bringing in 5 fresh faces.
Yes, from the team they had subbed out here, they are coming in strong, potentially with very different gameplay, a style that's gonna differ a lot from what we saw in the first game. We see some differences coming through already with the bans. It's gonna be an Affiliates ban for James Madison, so considering that that was not even near what we saw in the last game, James Madison very aware of how these substitutions are going to affect the matchup.
Yep, it's a very, very hard target on this bot side. Double ADC, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Zeri ban as well. Zeri is very fun, and I mean, James Madison, Zorni played a very, very nice Xayah. So you can go ahead and grab that one. You basically lock out, and there it is. Ohio Northern know it as well, so you ban out a third. Fourth one, like I said, I would like to see the Zeri ban. If not, it could go into, I want to say a Varus. Varus would also be a nice contested ban to have as well, but I wouldn't put it past James Madison. This is a whole squad, so to give a little bit of insight, Ohio Northern, a lot of these players are a little bit higher skilled than the previous rosters, so it's a lot of question marks for JMU to kind of go through, and so instead of another ADC ban, they go for the Victor, which is against Kato, a very solid one to go for.
Yeah, definitely. You take out solid damage, as you said, the potential of zoning, CC that the Victor can apply, and just the amount of crazy pushing that you can have mid stages with the Victor. They finish up Ohio Northern with the Lulu ban, and we're gonna go already to the table for their picks, and Kindred might be the first one for James Madison. They had the Kindred in the last game, worked out amazing, so just run it back.
It's nice to have, and yes, run it back, but as a blind pick, it does worry me. Kindred, yes, is a solid pick in terms of damage output, but it leaves itself very vulnerable. Again, any knockbacks are pretty rough against it, and the burn here, this is actually very, very appropriate. And Udyr is one of the few picks that I would give a lot of credence to. It mid to late game, unless the Kindred is fed, the burn's going to be way more than a Kindred can deal with. That Udyr will run circles around you, and it will be a problem, so we're going to have to wait and see if that is actually a jungle Udyr or not, but it's a solid pickup. And now Ohio Northern get to decide what do they want to go for next. They're picking just a lot of bullies here. If the gangplank is also locked in, there's not much that can deal against it.
Yeah, as you said, bullies all around the board. You have the Udyr countering the Kindred in the top lane. You're going to have the barrels from the gangplank just getting that zoning coming from James Madison.
Yes.
And it feels like they know that might be the playstyle, given that they did ban the Victor first hand. We have Milio coming to the board, very fun, one of the most recent champions coming to the board. A cutie patootie he is, with the little fire friends, and paired up with the Jinx we talked on backstage. It goes bonkers.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very powerful one. And again, this Milio is twofold, right? Just like we saw in game number 1, where ONU were trying to enable a certain character. It was trying to enable the Olaf. It's appropriate to say the Milio is trying to enable 2 on the back end. So again, that does allow for both the Jinx and the Kindred to have massive damage control. But that Blitzcrank is going to be that stalwart defense against Ohio Northern, drafting a very pick and roll composition here. It is slaughter one member at a time and do that over and over again until James Madison is completely dismembered.
Yeah, you have the Blitzcrank just dismantling the composition for James Madison if they get the nice hook, the right hook on the carries. We're gonna go for the second round of bans. James Madison starting out with a Syndra, one champion that we did mention would work well. I think I mentioned an Orianna as well that would be good. In the last matchup we had, who was the jungler again? With the Olaf, with the Rakan, it would do well, but we saw it was all different from what we expected with the double support. We're finishing up Ohio Northern with the Darius and Jace very top, heavily focused, and the Silas for the mid lane ban for James Madison.
Yeah, this is 2 very contradicting styles. Ohio Northern saying top lane is our priority, so I wouldn't be too outside grabbing an Orianna right now, as you were saying, or a very simple lock-in here. Just go ahead and get Kato a setup. And then my brain also realized that we don't have an ADC. So this is the other side of it. So hey, go ahead, grab that ADC, and it's just all power here. James Madison, they're going up against a team that, if given a single shred of gold, they will go ham with it, and I like this. I like this call. This is the Malphite. If you do lock it in, it goes against the Draven and the GP quite well. It will fall to the GP a little bit. GP actually enjoys this matchup in terms of the bullying effect, but in the mid to late game, it's going to be powerful. Yes, do it. The Wombo in front. Please go ahead and lock this one in, James Madison. Please, JMU, give me that damage.
Yeah, they're really stacking on stacking here for James Madison. And one thing that you mentioned was in regards to the zoning power and just GP having a good time against the Malphite in the mid stages. Am I mistaken in saying that GP does take percentage of HP in damage, so that would be good against the Malphite? I think there's something about that, or maybe I'm just very wrong. Who knows?
I think it's not percentage, but if you go first strike, which I think a lot of GPs like to do, it does bring that extra little percent boost. I don't think there's percent HP. It's on the burn, yes, but that burn can only be procced on the Q and auto attacks every certain pattern. And I would say it's decent. Don't get me wrong. It is very, very powerful, but it's not all the time. So it's not constant shred health.
Valid. Gosh, we finished up that roster with a Cassiopeia pick for the mid lane. And as we said, it's a whole different team, a whole different set of players, and a whole different composition that they brought to the table. What are you thinking about Ohio Northern this time around?
I'm thinking they drafted to win lane and then win game afterwards, no matter what. These are all champions that are well known to scale very, very hard. And they're also considered lane bullies, right? You take a look at the bot side, which is one that we saw be the closest in game number 1. Now it's been upgraded, right? If you have a Blitzcrank and Draven, a single kill now swings in favor of that opponent. It swings in favor of Ohio Northern. And then in the mid lane, right, Diana was blind picked. The Cassiopeia negates just about everything that the Diana wants to do. The Miasma is enough to slow him down. The Petrifying Gaze is going to stop Show Me and Sightless. So it's a great pickup on the counter pick engage. Aggression and Widerum. We saw the Udyr get locked in. It was one of the first ones. It was a counter pick there. Being run ragged around the map, expect it to not be caught, and expect a big prayer of, hey, the Kindred is big enough, the Jinx is big enough to actually shred through the Udyr as he burns your backline. So right now, every single pick on the side of ONU feels like the perfect bullying mechanic that will take JMU down a notch.
It really does. Kato positioning very aggressively here. Baiting out, we have ONU squad in the fog of war. Nobody has been spotted so far. Are they going to leave a ward? Yes, they have. It's going to be just a ward for the blue side. Now, GMU on the blue side, ONU on the red. They're still advancing here, but they're going to get spotted. So, nothing should come out of it much. In comparison, might be just a deep ward scenario. Maybe they're going to commit, and they're going to go for a counter invade. We'll see how GMU is going to respond to this.
I don't think they're going to respond at all. I mean, they don't want to force it, and they can't, right? Their composition doesn't allow for any sort of really engage outside of Sightless and DDD, and that's only at level 6. So don't expect them to be going in. Don't expect them to be going hard. Expect them to be trying to farm this out and level this fact of ONU going to be going aggressive. The main one is Kuz and Kai in the bot side. These two are going to be looking to be very, very aggressive. They're going to be looking to step up, deal with Zorni and Lando, and try and push that Draven into late game status as soon as possible.
Yeah, the more you stack that Draven is going to become that perfect scenario for ONU. As you said, they want to get the laning phase done, and as soon as they have it won, they want to go for a finish line. And considering that we had GMU doing exactly that in the previous match, I think that ONU can definitely pull it around with this new composition.
And you saw it there, the zoning out by Kato. It's a painful reminder of the matchup that you have chosen here. So we're going to see, hopefully Show Me also show a little bit of love towards that mid lane and try and get some damage down, but keep eyes on aggression. We saw the ward earlier. You know, hey, the opponent is over here. And then another ward that was dropped by Kato now means they have complete information, and that's going to be a good draw.
Yeah, very nice hook here is going to be Lando dropping down to 20% health. There's some damage coming with the axes for Kai too, and both laners are going to be chugging on those potions. And Draven Blitzcrank showing why it was such a bully in the early stages of League of Legends.
Oh yeah, it's going to continue as well. Lando on this Milio, it gives a lot of bonuses, but it's not actually that strong, right? You know for a fact it's very squishy, and that's the risk that you run when you grab these two laners. And now this is going to be a chance. Show me just trying to lay some sort of pressure. Again, you know you're not actually going to get a kill. Sightless is just trying to get to level 6 at a nice pace. But for right now, it's just, you know, trying to slow down this slow burn of the gold. We're going to see this increase of gold jump out. But look at this, Sightless going in.
Yeah, they both had the Conqueror, so it's going to be stacked very close. Kato running out of mana, still has enough for a couple of those Fangs, but both of them with the potions are going to keep healthy for a little bit longer. Kato knows that aggression is just around the corner, and they have the upper hand, as you said. They have the zoning power, and considering how much the Cassiopeia can heal with the abilities, it's just no use for Kindred to come here now. Just bothering, just annoying, but no really potential of killing Cassiopeia at this point.
Nope, it's again just force the Cassiopeia out of lane, especially trying to get them on a bad recall timer. Sightless has the TP over Kato, so that's really, really nice. But this is where it is on the bot side. Oh, okay, that's good. Good dodges.
Okay, nice. Mind games coming here. Some damage from the Jinx as well. Landing onto Kai. Look at Lando go. Very interesting. Seeing some of Milio shining through in this bot lane and really showing that they can turn this one around. And with a little bit of mind games, they got those dodges very successfully done.
That's going to be nice as well, because you are going to try and get to that level 6. And I will say for JMU, they have a lot of good level 6 breakpoints, right? The cleanse coming out from Lando, the ultis coming out across the board is going to swing the advantages directly in their favor. But it's really about, you know, how much are they going to lose in the process. You can already see that gold stacking up. It's about 600 difference right now in favor of ONU, which is just from CS differentials. You can see it here, right? Top side is about 200, about 200 in the jungle, about 200. It's 200 across the board, except for the bot side. It's not a lot, but I want to see if it increases. That's what I'm really curious about. So take stock of those numbers, about 200 in most lanes. If that increases in the future with no kills, that means ONU are doing what they're supposed to do, which is bully out JMU, get advantages from there, and then work up. If it doesn't, if it stays within that 1 to 1.5k, JMU have done an exceptional job here in the game.
Oh, really? Because the amount of pressure that ONU can do in the lane just by the picks that they have done. And that's one thing that Orbital we noticed from the very start when they chose to be on the red side. They wanted to not secure the first pick. They wanted to counter every single thing that JMU brought to the board. And it's already working so well for them. They're going to scout the area differently from the last game. We're going to see ONU being much more proactive in warding, getting vision, and now they're going to get that presence here in the Drake. But so is Show Me trying to get something scouted, maybe going on to Kai. This ADC is alone, but maybe Show Me is going to be the one to get caught in between. The damage is going to land, but so is it onto aggression. The Draven is not quite there yet. They're going to get the first blood, and that's going to be huge gold for the League of Draven. Last hit on the Jinx. It's not there yet. It's just going to be a couple more auto. Oh my god. Gotta be careful with that ranging. Spacing is gonna be so necessary for GMU in all matchups.
This has been a pretty solid play, and yeah, you can see the body block though there. Lando has to be in front, and I mean, it's starting, right? It's already starting here on the bot side. Kai being allowed to pick up that kill on Show Me, and Show Me just wanted to try and get some a little bit of information, a little bit of push off, has done very well in that respect. But now the bot side, as much as I hate to say it, you are out of a depth. Kai should be able to come back with a massive gold lead. Will have a fantastic set. Yeah, BF Sword just straight off the bat. So Zorni and Lando cannot step up at all now. There is not an ulti in the world that will save you until Sightless and DDD decide to enter the fray.
Yeah, Sightless using the TP here in the mid lane. So thus far, you don't have any TPs anymore on the board. We're going to have to wait to see if anything else is going to come online when the 14-minute mark comes to play. The Drake has not been taken down. It was just the scouting of the area, taking the wards, placing vision yourselves. And Sightless is going to try to do the same here because you have the Kindred very deep in the red side of the map. Aggression has the backup from Widerum, but it's 3v2 in this case, so they got to be careful about it, and they are. So just taking out the wards once again. So very controlled and strategic game that we're seeing from both teams.
I think it's appropriate. Again, it's slow acting, and for the side of ONU, you're really just waiting for a lot of those ultis to come up again. They want to fight on top of that cannon barrage. So ONU are just going to keep farming up and pull stunts like this. Again, they're very happy about getting these annoying little moments down. So I really do like this.
Oh, would you look at that? Very nicely done. That trap from the Jinx is going to get a chunk of damage for the health bar of Cuz. And with that, because of a missed hook, they are able to trade back the damage onto this bot lane. Even though ONU still has big pressure, they're going to try to take the platings. We have the vision on the Kindred. The next hook is also not going to land. And ONU is positioning for the first Drake. Aggression is on the pit. There is vision, so they're probably going to try to at least take it out from the pit. Denied the vision. The zap is going to land on Kai. So again, GMU has eyes on the Drake, and they're saying, well, we're not going to take this, but neither are you.
It's very hard to do so, and I like the respect that ONU are laying down. There was no pressure in the mid lane. It was actually kind of stuck in the middle, Sightless and Kato. We're not going to be roaming out just yet, so without Kato, you don't want to force it, right? Aggression, Kai, and Kuz, they all understand that, but in the top side, we're seeing a difference. Oh, no.
Oh, yes, we are. DDD is going to be taken down. That shot to the face. White Drum, as soon as they get their ulti. Wait, did they just get their ulti? Am I confused? Did I see level 6 on the board? Is that it?
It was a trade. So DDD hit level 6 right away, and then Weideman was just ready, but we can't even talk about that.
Yeah, we cannot. Bot lane is being super aggressive once again in its damage flowing onto GMU. Aggression might be the one getting caught up in the middle. The ulti from the Draven is not going to deal as much damage as you would expect. And they're all still pretty much healthy. Pressure here, shoving the lane. Gonna get a nice reset, or maybe just fake a reset to get the next wave. At this point, they're not even that far behind in CS. In the bottom lane is around 20, and considering the aggression that ONU has been able to put around, I would expect a difference just like we have in the top lane of over 40 CS.
Yeah, this is starting to look very, very scary, expecting JMU to fall further and further behind. And I mean, Showme's trying, right? Showme is trying to join in on these fights, but they know it's an uphill battle. You saw the gold. I said earlier that if JMU were able to keep it at a 1 to 1.5k difference, it was going to be a win for them. They don't have it anymore. It's looking much higher, and this is going to be the chance to fight back.
Yeah, there's going to be the chance to get Showme taking Kato down. They're going to land the stun from Cassiopeia. They're close to taking them down, but aggression is going to be falling pretty shortly. But a nice hook from Blitz.
Oh.
Just under tower range, and Kato and aggression survive with just around 10%, 5% of their health. Maybe Sightless is going to try to get a dive going as well. White Drum is going to be aggressive once again with the pressure over levels that they got. At least we see GMU really trying to fight back, but ONU is staying their ground.
Yeah, ONU have full control, and yes, that mid lane was a little bit spicy. We saw the possible damage that could come out. Lando getting in there and helping out Showme, but it's, again, just the pieces falling in favor of ONU right now. They have 3 plates to their name. It's going to continue ever further. And I'm really, really curious, where does that fight break out? Where does that difference come? Because, again, you're now at about a 5k deficit. And JMU have not looked to chip at any of the towers except for bot side. Showme was such a huge point last time, and this time around, getting jumped on in the jungle, this is much harder to deal with.
Much harder, especially if you have the Kindred ulti. Oh no, very, very close. But the shot was following you over the wall, and it's not going to be a flash that's going to save you this time. DDD getting collapsed by 3 members. They get the smite going, and Uta is going to follow them. The unstoppable force gets them over the wall, and GMU at least avoids 1 death of the 2 potential that could go down.
Yeah, that was a chance. And again, right now, Weideman has been a beast on this top side. I did talk about a little bit DDD on this Malphite. It was a decent pick. When you go up against Gangplanks, you have to do 1 of 2 things. Either you turtle and pray that you don't die and you only give up marginal gold in terms of the CS department, or you go for another bruiser and you try and take GP in that own flank and you turn it into, I want to say, a skill check, right? That's what you're looking at. In this situation, you went for the tank route and you tried to do your best, but with the early assists on the bot side and the farming that Weideman has been able to do, it's been a time, right? It's been a
It's been a journey.
very nice time. So I congratulate DDD for trying to hang on as much as possible, but JMU just, again, their comp is taking a little bit too long to come online.
Yes, it is, and it's just because it's not because of lack of effort from them. As you said, ONU has been controlling everything in the map. They have such good pressure in the top lane just by the farm alone, because of Gangplank being able to apply that zoning potential. Because he's here in the mid lane trying to shadow, get something going here. But interestingly enough, that wave is pushing, so I don't think you're gonna get anything out of that. They rotate to try to take down some vision coming from the river, and Kindred is gonna be spotted. Are they? No, they are not spotted. All right, they just place the ward, get over the wall, and Blitz also continues with their day.
It's hi Dave. All right, you're good. Kuz has also been on point. So for right now, ONU, I expect them to just continue drawing this laning phase out. They're in no rush, right? This composition is in no real rush. They have exceptional wave control, and they have the top lane rolling in their favor. So honestly, it's just play it slow, play it smart. They're okay kind of giving themselves a little bit more time to scale up. The composition will blow up in the mid game with the lead that they currently have. And they're happy about it. Just the entirety of this game feels so good for the ONU squad that they're going to take it as slow as possible. And JMU, they're going to pray and say, okay, well, if you're going to let us scale, maybe we have a chance in that late game, right? Maybe DDD is able to get tanky enough that you don't have to deal with them. Maybe Sightless gets a massive wombo combo off. Maybe the Jinx becomes a beast as well. But those are a lot of hopes. Those are a lot of dreams that they have. And, I mean, I don't know if they have enough time.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of ifs and buts orbital, and you have the Jinx hyper carry, will need the items. You're gonna have the Kindred still trying to fight for those marks. They're gonna go do something here in the top lane. Is that what I'm saying? Is that the Malphite? No, the Malphite is not there to come back, but they have TP, so they're gonna go in. Let's have a look here at the top lane. They get spotted, so it's not going to be a gank in the bottom side. It's going to be the first turret taken down, so even more extra damage, gold, excuse me, for Kai. And with that, you just grow that Draven, and you would expect ONU to just steamroll from this point on.
Yes, this is now breaking open into a dangerous scenario. Sightless is now going to feel the brunt force, because normally you see a Blitzcrank roam at about level 3 or 4. At level 7 now, it's a big difference. But the jump in the mid lane by Sightless, just trying to draw something out.
Yeah, very interesting, because as a Diana with just the first item completed now, you're not going to be able to do that much damage. The rest of the team is not going to follow up as well. So unfortunately, it's going to be that ulti down. It opens up the mid lane. It just gives them the opportunity to go push. To be fair, did they have any chance to try to defend this? I don't think they did, especially with the Herald coming along. It's going to be very nicely placed as well with just the first charge going into the second tier in the mid lane. We'll see if they're going to stand any chance against this push. The first charge is going to hit, and with that, it's just going to be a clean takedown of this one. I don't think they would do anything else.
No, at this point, ONU are just saying, no, we don't want to fight. You have to force us to fight. And they'll bleed out gold. They'll keep bleeding out gold as long as this goes on. This is one of those kind of stranglehold, the suffocating feeling of gameplay. It's very, very nicely done by ONU's side. But for right now, JMU are just like, we can't pull the trigger. We have to keep waiting. And, of course, the question then becomes, when is the right time to pull that trigger? When is the right time to go for that fight? When is the right time to try and go for that big bloody battle that you know that you're going to have to take at some point? I would give it, and I would pause it, another 7 to 10 minutes. That's all you're going to have to work with. In those 7 to 10 minutes, you are praying Zordi is able to pick up so much CS. You're hoping they're able to collect at least 2 items. And if not, it's going to be a problem. Look at that difference between the ADCs right there.
Insane.
That was about 3K difference, I believe, just right there.
Yeah, 4K for Jinx, 7K plus for Draven. Absolutely insane what ONU has been able to accomplish in this game. And as you said, they only have around 10 minutes tops to be able to accomplish something. And answering your question, I think it might be just a case of if ONU makes a mistake and then you can pick off someone as Kai, maybe Kado as well, but considering what they have been doing so far, they're not going to let any breaches come online, and GMU is just gonna keep on bleeding gold, as you said. And we'll see if they're going to try to get something engaged here for a Baron, increase even more their advantage for ONU.
They don't even need it, right? Like, it's
Yeah,
still 2.5 minutes. Why are we... I don't know what they're sitting around here looking at Baron. They're really just looking for a pick. They're just looking to see if Shomi is going to walk forward and be a little bit cheeky, and it's not going to happen, right? Right now, JMU are playing this in the right manner. They're saying, okay, farm what we can, just soak it up, and pray that we don't get ganked. Yes, it's bleeding out gold, but at least you're not losing drastically. This game, it feels like it could have been over at about 15, 16 minutes in. DDD right now, playing smartly, trying to get out of that top side. It is the right way to play it. And it is biding your time. Yes, it's slow, it's painful, it's excruciating to watch this style, but for right now, JMU, they are betting it all on one massive team fight, one massive exchange of blows that the stat check will bring, hopefully in the near future.
Yeah, that's the only thing they can do, really. There's still 1.5 minutes for that Baron. They're going to take down this Herald once again. ONU is going to have that aggressive push into the lanes. And with an already opened tier 2 in the mid lane, it's going to be very hard for JMU to try to keep track of anything happening in that jungle. They have kept very consistent in the warding scenario. They have a lot of vision everywhere. Unfortunately, they can't really do much about it. They know what is happening, but they know that they have to wait. They know that they have to keep on farming, as you said. And at least they're doing it well, because if they had done anything different, it would have been a lost cause already.
Yeah, this is it's screwed if you do, screwed if you don't, right? Like that's
Yeah.
I feel what's coming out here, and right now they're getting screwed if they don't, and you can see here Sightless in a 1v1 just running it in.
Yeah, they're running it down. It was very close, to be fair, to get that Super Mega Death Rocket onto Widerum, but it wasn't going to take them down, I don't think, unfortunately. But still a nice attempt there by the Jinx. You're going to have the Herald being popped here in the bottom lane. The clear wave with the barrels are going to be insane. They take this down. There's going to be another hit into the inner turrets. The inhibitors are going to be exposed really soon, and that's exactly what ONU wants to do. And they're going to engage. They're going to flash forward. They don't land the hook, but they manage to take down the tower fast enough so they don't go down by the tower shots. It's going to be a kind of even trade, even though it was 1 kill for ONU. I thought it was going to be much more devastating for GMU, to be fair. They kept a good defense as much as they could do. Tower went down, inhibitor went down, but still they are maintaining a good mental to fight as much as they can.
Yeah, that was, you know, as much as we want to say it's even, it is now a 14k lead. Right now, ONU on the doorsteps of a perfect game here. Widerun, Aggression, Kato, Kai, and Kuz all coming in here in the second game. And you know what? An exchange of teams coming in here almost. It's working out for ONU. and I'm very, very... you know what, it's a tactic, and it's something that does have to be considered, and you know what, they're making it work. So for right now, eyes are open. Bot side is exposed, which does lend itself to some nice CS coming in for Zorni, but the main thing is the Baron, right? You take down the bot side inhibitor, and Baron is now available, and because you have to send someone all the way to that bot side, it's such a long run back. So this Baron is now going to be fully under their control. You can see the wards going out here as well from the side of ONU. They are fully littering that top side jungle with their own vision. There is not a chance for JMU to step up. I expect Zorni to be the only one to try and get a steal from here.
Yeah, agreed. Well, we are seeing something different coming to the board. They're just going to bait that they're doing Baron, and they're going to engage here in the jungle. They don't get someone because of the Blast Cone, and they're going to maintain healthy for a little bit longer. JMU going back to base because they know they can't contest this Baron. It's going to be an easy takedown for ONU.
Yep, they're happy. They're fine. It's easily done. They're going to siphon it up so easily, and Kai is the main one, so really, really do enjoy this. The question now is, where do they want to go, right? They can go top, they can go mid, they can go bot. I would expect a 5-man push or a 1-4 and a wider run. I mean, either one's really good. Let's be honest here. Either one can work, but it is about getting that effective use of the Baron down, and it is going to be that 1-4 with Kuz kind of roaming in between and looking at that pull range. It is hiding along the top side. Expect this to be the last push of the game, and JMU, their time is coming to a close. They gotta make one last-ditch effort if they want to try and get a team fight off.
Yeah, the super minions roaming down there for the Nexus turret as well. The super minions in the top, in the mid. This buffed up Baron minion is going to take it down. And as you said, this might just be the last fight of the game. Kaz is going to go in. They don't get the hook landing, but they don't even mind it. You've been saying that the whole time, Orbital. There's just been 6 kills on the board, and that was plenty enough for ONU to get their advantage in this game.
Yes, there was, and this should be it. Okay, as much as I said, you bide your time. This should be it. That's Petrifying Gaze going in.
Yeah, they're going in. They go in with a Petrifying Gaze, and again, most of them, they're going to go down. 3 of them, and it's going to be them trying to fight for something here in the base, trying not to get hooked, and they did. Jinx is going to be the last one down before this game finishes off, and ONU takes us into a game 3 against JMU.
You know what? New face, new team, it's working, right? ONU makes some upgrades here, and it works to a T. A perfect game on the day, and you know what? They'll hang on to it. So I'm, you know what? It's a good sign for right now, though. We are going to get ready for game number 3 because JMU, they have an uphill battle of their own now. So a lot of questions for their side, a lot of intrepid questions that they get to ask themselves of, how is this final game going to go, and how are they going to make it to the semifinals? Only time will tell. Don't go anywhere. JMU versus ONU will continue in just a bit.
https://twitter.com/septilence. Don't put that in. I'll get in trouble. So that's worth it. Did I get too close to the camera on that one? A little bit too close. Should I back up a little bit? Okay, sorry about that. My bad. I've been awake for probably close to 32 hours. Like, I have to hold my keyboard the normal way, because if I do it, I feel like I have arthritis and I hold my keyboard like that. It blows my mind. I can never do that. This guy right here, he's got his keyboard off at an angle. His isn't that extreme. There's a kid all the way down on the far end who has his keyboard all the way at a horizontal.
That's really cool.
They're gonna be at that table right over there.
Public information?
Oh, I don't know. This isn't live, so it doesn't matter.
It's not live, but you and I know.
Yeah, we know.
I'm not gonna tweet it.
Awesome. What game do you play?
Smash Bros.
Who do you play? Is it embarrassing? Is it like Villager?
Yeah.
Is it Villager? Am I spot on? Oh my god. Is it the Ice Climbers?
No.
Is it Game & Watch?
No.
Is it Pichu?
No.
Is it Wario?
No.
I can keep going. I think I can name every character in the game. Is it? Did I say the Ice Climbers already?
Yeah, you said them.
Is it them?
No.
Is it them a second time?
No.
Okay. All right. Oh, is it one of the Links?
Yes, it is.
Is it Toon Link?
It is.
Oh, that is pretty embarrassing. That is rough. Who do you play?
I'll give you $20 if you guess correctly right now.
First try? Give me a single hint.
It's an obscure character.
Obscure character.
Not played very often.
Is it Wii Fit Trainer?
Oh my god!
I'm the interviewer for a reason, baby. I do what I do. I don't need the money. I appreciate it, though. I appreciate it. So Bowser Jr., Wii Fit, and I forgot already. Are you all lying to me? Am I being gaslit? No. Bowser Jr., Wii Fit, and you told me already. Oh, Toon Link. Yep. Where's my main support at? Who are we playing this weekend?
A lot of Brig.
A lot of Brig, really?
Brig Lucio, probably.
Brig Lucio, really? I shouldn't say that too loud. I don't want to give all your strategies. It's over-under?
What do you mean over-under?
Like, do we think we're going to podium? Do we think we're going to come in last place?
Not last place.
Not last place?
Certainly not last.
What about, 5th place?
That's doable.
That's doable? That's winnable? 3rd place?
Third
That's where things get dicey?
That's very doable.
Okay.
First place? That's very doable.
First place, very doable. Love it. That's the mindset. That's what he loves to hear. Yeah. Oh my god. Hold on. Cut the cameras. Well, who are you? Hello. Oh my god. I saw you earlier. I saw the back of your shirt. And I was like, I know that name. I know him. It's a quick play game. They Q-sniped each other at land. I thought it was a scrim. It's just unlucky. Are you actually a Villager player?
Yeah.
How do you feel about Villager being notably worse in Smash Ultimate than they were in Smash 4?
I wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know? You never play Smash 4? No. Oh, that's all right. Nobody's gonna hold that against you. Who do you play?
I play Robin.
Okay, wow. Did you know Robin has the lowest pick rate in the game?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Come on, the LEDs, it looks just like Samus.
Huh?
Do you disagree?
I guess I can see
The
it.
Samus vibe. Show the controller to the camera. We're interviewing. This is recording, by the way. Surprise.
Not my controller.
Who do you play?
I play Peach.
Oh, wow, I like that. Who do you play?
I play the Shotos, mostly Kazi.
No, you lose against Kirby. That's just like a statistics thing.
Yeah. It's maybe.
This is a death match. I think they're all in the same one. They're all on Icebox. Are they all in the same death match? Maybe. Who knows? I feel like none of them can hear me. I want to like approach somebody, but no one can hear. They all have both their headphones on.
What's up?
How do we think we're doing?
I think we're doing pretty good. Yeah.
What's your KD?
We're looking at 10 and 6 right now.
Oh, hey, that's third, dude. That's better than I expected. Who's bottom frag right now? I want to go talk to them. Ian? Hey, how do we think we're doing so far?
You know, it could be better.
Could be better? You one of those rough days?
Well, you know.
Let's go find more people to harass. Yeah. Where's Boise State? Who's your favorite to play?
Oh, right now it's got to be either Chamber or Breach.
What country is Cypher from?
Oh, dude. It's Moroccan, right?
It is Morocco! Oh my god, I don't think anyone was gonna get that. Oh, you're good. You're good. All right, see you later. Let's go harass Boise State more. Who is this? What school is this? Boise?
This is Boise.
Oh man, that's okay. Boise's still got really good odds. A Large Bagel, one of their tank players, Nerdy Bird, they're off tank. Both of them not here. A little bit scary, if we're being honest. Getting warmed up, getting ready to cast some players. No, okay, not cast, interview. Change your mindset, change your mindset.
Words.
No, but last words until we come back.
Oh, okay.
Because we're leaving.
Enjoy.
Oh, that was good, that was good. Anything from you?
How are we doing, Polly?
Awesome, thank you so much for your time.
That's why we're here, right? This is why a lot of people are trying to figure out, how do we replicate what you guys are doing? How do we, how do they do what you guys are doing to a degree, or why are you guys doing what you're doing to a degree? But to kind of, I think, focus in then a little bit more, I want to talk about gameplay a little bit before we jump into business and all of the other stuff. Jensen, this one's for you, right? I want to talk a little bit about this because to someone like me who's traditionally a League of Legends fan and all that, I know that you've been a coach that's been, all over the world. You've worked with a lot of different professional teams and different regions. My question, I think a lot of people want to know, how did you end up at Maryville, and why a North American collegiate college? What was the draw, or what brought you here? How did you get to this point?
When I first came to NA, I worked with Immortals, with the academy team, and I realized that there's a lot of cultural challenges that exist that's very unique to NA and esports, right? Where there's this very interesting intersection, because unlike traditional sports, in esports, players, they don't start training under a structure or a system or a coach from a very early age, which is what happens if you want to pick up any other sport, right? Like you start going to community events or whatsoever, and then you start developing your skills and your literacy of the game from the age of 6 or 7, and you're very used to working in a team environment, a coaching environment. But in esports and for League of Legends, a lot of times players, they go through they go up, they climb the ranks in solo queue where everything is basically self-taught, and then all of a sudden they need to be placed into a team environment. And I realized that this is something that the Asian teams got right, where they had these B teams. They have the B houses in Korea and Taiwan. You would spend almost close to a year just being a understudy or training partner for the team before you even join an academy team in the first place. And in China, they have like these massive B team systems with like lots of players in them. The moment you hit a certain rank on the ladder, they fly you in. You are then boot camping for a month there at the facility, and depending on how well you do, they then decide whether to retain you on as a training partner or as a trainee in whatever capacity, given how well you perform in those scenarios. So the West was very lacking in all of this, and culturally to do the same things and try to replicate the B house environment or what they do in China or Taiwan would not be possible to do. But the West has a very successful model of developing sports and talent, especially in America, and that is in the collegiate space. So I looked at this, I saw the resources that was available, and when Clerky pitched his vision to me, it's like, yeah, this is what I think should be the future for development in the NA ecosystem for esports.
Oh, right on. And I think, maybe let's follow up on that a little bit then. Because Dan, okay, so Dan, you pick up Jensen, you've got this going. I think that's going to be my question then is, or to any other schools that want to be competitive like you guys on that level, is this something that we should be expecting to see in the future? Right? Is this now, the standard that you guys, Jensen, you and Dan, do you guys feel that this, if every college across the nation starts doing this, if they start, recruiting coaches like Jensen and trying to build this atmosphere, is this going to be the next standard, or is this something that's very successful that obviously it's proven to work, but is it sustainable? Is it possible for everyone, or maybe not everyone, but right, the greater sense of the industry and the ecosystem? How do you guys feel about that?
It's a dream of mine, obviously, to get to a point in the future where every university has an esports team that's taken seriously, and every day they report to practice. It's an improvement-driven mindset across the whole program. I think for me, though, like, the reason isn't necessarily like to see like a March Madness with millions of dollars flowing through it. For me, it's a little bit more simpler than that. The reason why this is my vision is just because it's best for player development and just players in general. What we see in tier 2 ecosystems almost across the industry, that's like below academy, I would say, like right before you, I would consider academy professional, because you're making a higher salary than exists in a lot of semi-pro sports, actually. But in the tier 2 ecosystem, you kind of go from like your parents' bedroom making no money on a Discord server with a coach that hasn't been certified by any national body, to playing academy, and that's horrifying to me. So while I don't see collegiate as being, or maybe it does end up being this way, but it doesn't have to be the definitive path to pro. I want it to at least be an option, like a parallel option, similar to how you can go through the Canadian hockey system, where you can choose to spend a couple extra years developing and maturing physically and emotionally in the NCAA model before you go to the show in the NHL. I'd like to see that reality in esports. This isn't something where there's a century of history to the competition. So it's a very powerful tool, especially when you're trying to convince your parents that this is a worthwhile pursuit, that you can get a college degree. And it's one of those things where, at least in America, with how expensive college is, getting scholarships after your 18 to 20-year-old years is usually harder academically. You usually get the majority of your scholarships going into school when you're an 18-year-old freshman, and the way that the current path to pro is set up, a lot of players are foregoing that span of time to try to go pro for no pay. And so for me, it's more about like a health of a pipeline, health of the ecosystem, health of kind of the player experience of pursuing this, and that's the big thing for me. And obvious it's a dream. I want Maryville to serve as like a case study and a model for that. We want to show results. We want to eventually be competing to win proving grounds, to show that this can be a functional alternative to the traditional tier 2 within esports, and that's what we strive for every year.
And I can add to that a little bit, just from a business perspective. I think, we're very fortunate to have Jensen and Dan here at Maryville, but I think if you're a university looking at, just adding a coach, maybe not to the magnitude of Jensen, but I think you have to look at the metrics. I think if you look at what the ROI and the business case of adding relevant esports within your university, what that means to your student life and all those different things, all those things that they try to check boxes within higher ed, I think having a relevant esports program or a relevant system within esports, every university should be looking at it, because their baseball players and their basketball players and football players are all playing gaming, and a lot of these esports, figureheads and coaches, etc., are the relevant people in digital media, and it helps the school with a brand perspective. And I think just having any sort of relevant and adding bodies within the esports ecosystem at universities, you have 2 or 3 basketball coaches, you have 2 or 3 soccer coaches, both on male and female. I think having relevancy within esports, it has probably a 15 to 25x, return versus like traditional sports. And I can say that with my background and everything like that, and just knowing how we look at it. But at the same time, if you're not looking at esports as a relevant, not even revenue stream, but relevant digital eyeball within your sports and student life perspective, I think you are sort of behind the times.
We're at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup. Let's make some noise.
Oh, and it's gonna be...
Corner judges go for 1, 2, dip. He needs more. And they're doing even more here.
You gotta touch the point. Mr. Collins walks it in.
Toy Boy is gonna drop.
Knife him.
Right out in front.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1, running.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings.
That's so cute. UCF and it's really cute. I'm gonna move down here. How do we feel? Odds for UCF? What are we thinking?
They got it. No, we got this. We got it. We got it. Go Knights. Charge on.
100%. My friend Nick is behind you. He's gonna record it. Don't look at him. You'll ruin the shot. Don't look at him. Don't look at him.
Come on. Let's go! Let's go!
My smile's probably really creepy. I was just being weird.
Oh, I love being in the shadows, though. Big shout out to the shadows.
We could interview Dilly just because I think he's handsome. You weren't supposed to hear.
Here's the thing about the event. I'm the greatest that's ever lived.
Literally true. I know him.
I think everyone knows that. I think everyone's aware of that.
Do you have a VIP access badge on?
I actually have an all access.
Oh, an all.
And welcome back, everyone. We are ready to go with game number 3. ONU with some player swaps have now come back in dominating fashion. A perfect game in game number 2, and JMU have to put in some work now. They're going to be trying their best to run up the score and look at a little bit of a difference as they are coming in as that first seed. So all eyes are currently open here for the squad to see what they can do and fight for game 3.
Yes, this is the moment for them to keep that sovereignty, JMU being the first seed, and ONU taking that second game into a game 3. This is the moment for JMU to show why they are first place, and we'll see how that's going to go. Once again, ONU has brought up to the table a different roster of substitutes. So the game style that we saw in the first game differed a lot from the second, but it's still going to be the same from the last game. But we're going to see some similarities here and there.
Yep. So getting into it once again, JMU are going to be on the red side, and my eyes are currently being drawn over to Show Me. Show Me in game number 1 had a phenomenal time, very, very impressive, and played the Kindred twice in a row. So for right now, my eyes are actually going, okay, well, what do you try and do different, right? What do you try and run a little bit differently, and maybe a bit more damage, but a little bit more brawl in the early game, right? Something that can actually get in. You don't have to wait for the laners. And maybe something with a bit more durability behind it, but of course those are all the questions. ADC is going to be running up the scoreboard here once again. Last time we had 4 ADC bans, 3 actually in the first round, so we'll see if it happens again.
Yeah, I think in regards to bruises there in the jungle, as you mentioned, for Show Me, something like the Olaf, something like the Udyr that we had seen. So we haven't seen a lot of Lee Sin, but he can be pretty good in the early game as well. For that, James Madison is going to get the Blitzcrank out of the table, definitely a menace and a nuisance on the hands of Cast in the last match, so that is very understandable. Lulu is going to be the last ban for Ohio Northern, so that is Zaya Lulu out of the table. Rakan is still there. He was played by Ohio Northern before, but definitely a different mindset from what we saw in the game 1.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a shift, and I do appreciate it, saying, hey, you know, the Blitzcrank was a problem. I think that's true, and it was one of the enablers, right? It was one of the big enablers. What I am worried about is that GP in the top side. Widerun still has that opportunity to play it, is instead going to be hovering over that and locking in the Gragas, so another great blind pick to have set up here. this is going to afford DDD an opportunity. If you wanted to, yeah, go ahead, grab that Darius that was banned away from before, go for that heavy bruiser and have some fun.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely fun seeing those dunks coming through for James Madison. And we saw DDD performing super well in the top lane. Last game was much harsher in regards to the potential of zoning the wave that Gangplank can apply. But being a Darius, you have that sustainability, as you mentioned. Shomi is going to lock that Karma for Lando. So very, very nice, because you have from shields to move speed to damage from roots. It's a very complete support. Zeri, you talked about Zeri before up till today?
Yeah, Zeri is a champion that people love to hate and hate to love. It is a champion that is seen as a menace in the mid to late game. And yet it's still on some of those moments where you're just like, okay, maybe we shouldn't run it. There are other options that just feel a lot more powerful. But that's mostly because of the utility that I think other options bring. This one's just straight up beef. It's straight up damage in that line. So Zeri is going to be locked in here. The chase is going to be on with the recon behind it. So now James Madison, you have to pick up your ADC here. You don't have a choice. If you don't, it's probably going to be double ADC ban on the bot side. So yeah, you have to hover across them. Caitlyn is available, but it's not going to do enough. And I'm not sure about that one. I would actually like to see a Varus. I know that one sounds bad, but I like the Varus CC, the ability to lock down aggression. But it's going to be the Kai'Sa though. So Kai'Sa, you're going to be actually going toe to toe and following up with the Zeri. I understand that one though. It is seen as a massive counter to the Zeri pickup.
Yeah, she's going to scale pretty heavily. She has a line of growth very consistent all throughout the match. Once she gets the item, she gets her power spikes just going. She has more mobility. They hovered the Ezreal as well. I think Ezreal has been pretty much out of the scene for the longest time. Very unfortunate for a little blonde explorer. But we have already joined the second round phase of bans, and James Madison is going to go for the Victor with the Akali, so going for their focus in the mid lane. Ohio Northern as well is going to do the same. It's going to be Annie. Potentially, we could see... No, I was going to say the Cassiopeia, but it was Ohio Northern themselves who got the Cassiopeia. So instead, they have hovered the Lissandra, and they finish it off. It's going to be the Glacial Queen out of the table.
Yeah, it's a lot of CC that Ohio Northern are just like, nah, we're not going to deal with that today. And I can appreciate that. But James Madison, they should be able to say, okay, these are 4 mid lane bans. We're still going to counter pick over. I don't think there's any high priorities between the two that they share in their champ pool. So yeah, pick up the jungle, go ahead, lock that one in. A little bit of front end burst. I am worried about the CC difference because Ohio were very worried about it. But JMU just going straight, hey, let's go ahead and just bring the raw damage. Graves can very single-handedly change up a game. So I expect this one to be a lot bloodier with the champions that JMU are kind of going for.
Yeah, I totally agree. And not only that, you have such a good backup with the Karma, just enabling you with anything that she has on her kit. I think that's going to allow for a nice growth for the Kai'Sa. The early game is going to be guaranteed by the pressure that Graves can assert in the beginning of the game. Darius is just going to be happy. Okay, he's not going to be happy anymore.
I mean, you are okay. That's 2 players that are kind of jumping into you, the Irelia and the Gragas, so it's going into the Darius. The main thing is that's mid lane, right? That's mid lane Irelia, and you are blind picking it. So Sightless has been challenged to a duel, basically saying, hey, you're not going to have anything in this in your champ pool that can deal with an Irelia. And granted, it's very hard. Unless Sightless wants to run another Bruiser and just say, screw it, we'll have some fun with it. You could... I've done some troll stuff. You could go on-hit Malphite, which has been a very, very funny one to bring up here. You could go with Mordekaiser. LeBlanc could be an option, but again, unless you say... Okay, it is going to be locked in here. So I have reservations about this. Again, LeBlanc is strong. The combinations are powerful, but it's a skill matchup, right? If you miss your combination, if you miss your distortion, if you miss the extra damage, not only does Aurelia outscale you towards the mid to late game, you are in dire straits. You cannot lose a single damage trade, or you are down in the water.
Oh, so true, Orbital. And if you have an Irelia as your matchup, she is really going to use all the minions in the wave to get away from the abilities to dodge the damage coming from LeBlanc. So you got to be very, very aware of that if you are James Madison in the mid lane. And just be careful. Are there that many minions? Can she jump around? How can I predict how this is going to happen? And on top of that, you have aggression on the Udu. You can just run it over in the beginning of the game. Just be so dominant and present all throughout the map. The Graves is going to be able to do similar stuff, but I don't think he has the same sort of mobility that the Uda has with the bear and all the abilities involved. So we'll see how this is going to go. ONU on the blue side, JMU on the red as we jump into the Rift for our game 3 of the evening.
Well, they are spotted out on that invade. You can already see everyone's like, okay, we know where you are. We know where you are. But it's the information game. Just get the ward down and back away. You can already see Cuz running around with that sweeper early on. It's going to deny the information away from JMU if they were to plant some wards down. But it's appropriate. I do like this. Oh, the call there. That early vision ward is immediately swept out. So Cuz getting immediate benefit from that sweeper. Very nice.
Yeah. Sweeper is not only going to take down the vision, there's also Ghost Ward. It's going to be some gold for the Kaiser there, but the gold from the wood also goes to the support, as you mentioned. Oh, actually, does it? No, I think it was Irelia who got it. And we are starting out the lane phase. We mentioned a couple of things. What we didn't mention was this. Okay, so we have a Kaiser going for a very late deep ward in the jungle. She's going to arrive here in the lane. Possibly, maybe even executing a good fake out on the jungler doing the blue buff. We'll see if ONU is gonna fall for the bait.
I think it is gonna be there as a, you know what, the bait may not have been perfect, but DDD is definitely a little bit frustrated. Weiderman already running into that top side, so you know it's the little things right now. Fake or no fake, it is JMU with the kind of knowledge of, hey, we have to play up, we have to play appropriate, we have to play smart. And that's going to be a look that, as we said early on, I want to see aggression out of this squad. They drafted for the early game. Graves early on does have some power, and Sightless, of course, LeBlanc. You're on a ticking time bomb. On the spot side, Lando and Zorni are going to be trying their best to duke it out, but this one's a little bit closer to tell. And with how ONU, with how Kai and Cuz played last time, it's going to be a big question mark for them.
He has been absorbing quite a lot of damage coming from the Kaiser and the Karma so far here in the bot lane. And I think it was interesting the way they were pushing so hard for pressure, because a lot of their health bar was going down, but eventually it was just for them to get the level 2 first, get the priority in the lane, and with that they have pushed quite a bit there. In the top lane though, you're gonna have DDD and the Windaram once again going that 1v1. It's gonna be a kill! Yes, it is! The Darius doesn't need a dunk to finish the enemies off. First blood for JMU.
You know what? You take it. They left open the Darius this time. They said, hey, take it if you wish. And you went for it. You didn't even burn Flash. That's solid, right? It's a huge win for that top side, especially because DDD in game number 2 was pressured very heavily. Remember, in game number 2, you were locked into this GP Malphite combination, and you were not happy. So a win on the board already up and happy about it. But Show Me now getting jumped on.
Yeah, they're going to go over the wall. It's not going to be over the wall. Well, now it will with the flash from Show Me. But the rest of the team from ONU is coming around. Cuz has to flash as well. And with the blast going, they might be able to do something to gather around.
Oh, no.
Goes in. Kai is on the back line, and ONU has turned this into a fiesta, a feast for the blue team. The Sightless on the LeBlanc might be able to escape. Kato doesn't want to commit for a dive, but damn, that turned around pretty fast.
Oof, that one, it was a little bit of greed coming out. You knew that you were running low on HP, and now this is going to be a death. Oh,
God,
Kato didn't have flash, so you can't really follow up. But it was a very close fight after that chase, and that's the damaging part. You knew things were going to go poorly, and you still went for it. So JMU getting a little bit greedy, hoping to get a little bit more after that first blood, but now it's Show Me getting ready for a possible bait. Kato might be baited in for this. That's good route.
That's really nice. They missed a stun as well, and the follow-up from Show Me is going to take this one. Oh,
God!
That was massively close, and Sightless gets the shutdown on the Irelia. That's the best case scenario for JMU on that engage.
They are so happy that that worked right there. It was a very scary bait. Sightless really playing on the edge of their seat, but a little bit of shield from Lando now helps them out. And it's because JMU have identified this bot side is not going to go in their favor, right? Kai and Cuz are too strong. Even with the Cole behind it, Kai is so happy with the blue buff in hand as well. So you do have to make plays on the other side of the map. That is now 2 kills to Sightless. A LeBlanc that drastically needs to get ahead. I love this for the side of JMU.
Yeah, me too. You have ONU though going very hard here on the bottom lane. You have Show Me hovering the top. There's no vision, so this is going to be very nice. They don't get the push in from DDD, but they're still baited away. You have the fog coming from the bomb, and Witheram is going to try to get away. The flash forward for another flash. The potion is stacking while DDD is trying to chase this, this drunken man out of the fight, and he ends up surviving Orbital.
Oh, he's fine. He's fine. Thankfully, because of that scuttle. It's a nice one to have, but you see, again, this is a much more active JMU. We said it across the board. We like this. We like to see them active. And specifically in the mid and top, we should see a lot more action. JMU do have leads in both of those areas, and that will continue. Now, of course, Kato is going to be a menace. At level 6 versus a level 5, I mean, you're fine, right? You're very happy about this current setup. But Show Me should be able to use this aggression to their benefit. I want to see him getting up in the face of Widerum and Kato over and over again. I want to see them be bullies, and right now Aggression trying to seek the other side of the rift, saying, hey, we are strong on the bot side, which means we get Dragon Control.
Yeah, we have priority over this. They only have 1 detection ward. They know they can contest it. So it's just going to be the vision and then acknowledging, okay, you take this one, but it's not going to be easy once we get into the 10 minutes on into the game. Third Drake of the game. Some damage is going to land here from Zorni. I love when that ability hits over the wall. I think it looks so satisfying. Mid lane Sightless, managing very well how to use the mana, how to use the abilities. So you land the root before you go in on her, and there's going to be a stun from Kato, but they don't commit into a push because there's still Corrupted Potion for LeBlanc. They're just really trading back and forth in this mid lane, and Irelia saying, well, I'm gonna push in the wave, get a nice reset, and then I just come back stronger.
It's an unfortunate truth of the world, right? This Irelia is gonna be strong no matter what. It's really how much can you get out of this lane before things go south. And you don't really have an opportunity to deal with either because it is going to be a jump in. Oh my lord.
Excuse me, the Zeri damage from the ulti, but they don't manage to take Zorni down. The Ignite is almost enough for it, but there's not enough mana now for Kai to go in a little bit more. They did lean in the attacks just on the turret. They're focusing on the plating. Is there someone around? There's no one to back them around, and the healing from Rakana is going to keep Kai healthy. And this bot lane for JMU really struggling as the advantage for Zeri is growing on now over 30 CS ahead.
It's a massive lead, and that is a scary point. And now Aggression's going to get aggressive around this Herald.
Yes, they are.
Gosh,
so is bot lane. Excuse me, the last hit from the Kai'Sa is going to finish off the Rakan. When did that happen? 3v2 in the jungle. The river is going to be the place to go. Well, this Udyr is going to go down. While the dominance for JMU in this top path, alongside a kill, they also get the Herald. Oh, top lane, Widerum. Was that a flash you just saw? No, I thought it was a flash. Okay, never mind.
Listen. After game number 2, it doesn't matter what's going down. I don't care how messy it looks. The fact that they are up kills and up gold, I think is a huge improvement, right? Like, this is fantastic to watch right now. Even Show Me getting in on the action, saying, hey, someone's going to come on top, maybe even watching Aggression here. I love this fact. And ONU, I think for the first time, are going to be saying, okay, what do we need to do to actually deal with this? Yes, they're even. Yes, bot lane is going to be fully online. But, you know, what do you want to do from now? No, that's a knockback.
Oh, that was very close on landing the slam as well. Oh my god, DDD, you have to go away. Gosh, that would have been so well chained. You had the ulti coming from Widerum. You had the belly as well because it was just in range for the target, for the tower targeting them. The pressure for ONU in the bottom lane though has been massive. 3v1 cornery here on the ADC. Zorni's gonna go down. There's just Karma standing. And if so they wish, they could go in the support as well. They're just gonna choose to go for the platings, get the nice juicy money, and just get vision and pressure on the other side of the map. No, they don't even want that. They're gonna go in. Lando tries to get something here.
Whoa.
They end up using the ulti and take down so much damage on Lando. It's a warning shot. You don't want to go against the Zeri.
No, you do not. And remember, this is the one lane that's really, I want to say, outright winning the lane, right? Kato, at this point, we did say there is going to be that moment where Kato is just like, okay, what else do I want to do? The LeBlanc's not going to be playing aggressive, so I just bully inside the jungle, and they're making it work once again.
Yes, they are. They're gathering around in the jungle as well. Who's going to get the blue buff is going to be the Smite from Show Me. They're going in full on the blue side. Aggression taking a lot of damage. But Kai is on the backline. She is able to go over the wall. But the Aurelia ulti is going to land on most of them. Backup from Lando is there. But Kais is going to be the first one. Second is going to be the Graves. And Lando has to run for their health now. And I don't think they're going to be able to escape. Are they going to commit for a dive? They are not. And 2-0 for ONU on that engage, but top lane is DDD flashing forward. There were not enough stacks for that ultimate.
Oh, the bleed?
Very close. Oh, very close to potion. Very clutch.
This is going to turn into a DDD and Sightless versus Kai and Kato, I think. This is going to be so scary, and I love it. Are they looking? Sightless is just going to come around and delete him.
Yeah, they are. Oh my god. Oh, was it okay, I think it was just the W in Q into the mirror reflection. What is it called again?
It is a mimic.
Mimic, that's the one.
Yep.
I was almost there.
Yeah, it was distortion, sigil into mimic, and it's just the burst on that Q is very nice. So and it was a setup, right? You knew this was going to happen. We saw it on the minimap the entire time. So DDD is happy in this top side, and we did say, right, what are you going to play through? Show Me is going to play through the top and mid, and on the other side, Aggression is going to play through the bot side and mid a little bit on their end. So this is rightfully how it plays out. You actually get a second charge as well off that Herald, and it's going to be nice to play. Oh, well, maybe. No, you don't. Never mind. I thought they were going to push. I thought they had enough, but I guess not. Yeah. So it's a nice pickup on either side. It is not going to be a perfect game at all for ONU. This time, it is manifesting a possible angle here as bot side is just continuing to get bullied.
Yes, they are. Aggression is going to go aggressive as they should. They're going to have to really run for their lives now because they don't want to face that, oh dear, the Fed Kai, because there's not a lot that JMU can do in the bot lane. They might as well just let this tower go down. They're going to have to run away. Mid lane though, there were a lot of platings going for the Aurelia. Very close there. You had DDD on pulling Aggression in, but it did not connect.
It was, that's the whole reason that you go Udyr, but it's the threat value as well, saying that DDD is now going to be roaming out, now going to be swapping up different lanes, and it's on Show Me to actually stop Wide Rum in that top side. So I'm very excited, right? This is now the point where we get to see if JMU can continue kind of pushing forward, because for all the action that they built, ONU are actually still up in gold because of this bot side. They got all the plates, they got all the value once again, but the CS has been out of their control. That is 2-0-4 on Kai. And remember, just as much as DDD has been roaming out, it is now Kai unleashed. This is Zeri, the one that we always talk about as being so bloodthirsty, so annoying, so frustrating to deal with, is going to be a problem, but that's going to be a flash out in the mid lane.
Yeah, very nicely done. The flash escape, and then the backup from Lando is going to get a lot of damage going on to Kato. But the team is coming along, and it's the Kai. It's the boss fight that's going to come in. She has popped already the ulti, but not quite connecting to all of the champions there. They're dropping very low, but not enough. They're probably going to take this tower down. No platings are left. But DDD has arrived, and they're going to go juicy onto this Kai. And they're going in with the Phantom. They're going in with the movement speed. But they're not able to reach them. They end up not only escaping, but GMU protects that tier 1 mid lane.
Yeah, there was not really a chance. I mean, without Flash, DDD ain't getting in range for right now. And the scary thing is Kai was able to back off 3 people. That was 3 members that were going all in on Kato, but This is the thing with an Aurelia, right? The reduction inside of that W, being able to shield much of the damage and not being CC'd down, it's ridiculous. It feels so... It makes all your damage feel underwhelming. It makes you feel worthless when you go up against it, and all they have is a Bork and Merc Treads. There is nothing else behind it, and yet Kato is able to negate and dish out so much damage. For Sightless, it's been a pain, and now we're going to see the fruits of the labor on Kato's side. Massive win in the 1v1.
Yeah, it's maybe going to turn into a 2v1, 3v1 if they try to commit onto Kato. But they know that they're very strong at this point. Might as well try to be a little more careful about it. Shomi hasn't been spotted. They're going to go for a flank. Very nicely done. Do you have any pressure? Lendo might go in for the root, but it is going to be the stun onto Sightless instead. They go back, but the TP is going to follow from ONU. It's going to turn into a 2v2 where so much damage is going into Kato. They try to retaliate. The ulti coming from White Drum is there. They're going to try to do it, but it's not enough. It's going to be a 1v1 at the end. They've taken down so many of them. Show me. You have the damage, but you got to dodge it. It's going to be a flash forward and a kill onto the Gragas. JMU coming out on top, but mid lane is going to be their Herald popped. The tier 2 taken down, and another charge on the inhibitor tower.
You know what? You won the battle, but lost the war. But the battle's all you wanted to win right there. That's all you cared about. It's working out well. You know what? JMU getting these small wins. They feel great about it. Again, it ain't no perfect game. They're doing okay there. This is still ONU in a driver's seat. They are still very, very aggressive. And remember, that fight occurred without Kai, without aggression. These two very stalwart picks. But they still won. That's all they care about, and they know they can fight. They can duke it out to the best of their ability, and I can't wait to see them try it again. I really, really want to see DDD also pop off. I want to see that big Darius just run everyone over. Did go for the Triforce instead of that Divine Sunder. So going to be popping off a little bit more damage and a lot more speed behind it at this upcoming Dragon as well. ONU have been staggered on it so far, and I think that is going to be Chemtech as well. So you know what? You want to pick it up. You want to put yourself on solo point. JMU are going to try and deny that.
Yes, that solo point is definitely going to be one thing to pay attention on. And ONU trying to get something here in the bottom lane in regards to vision. But JMU has complete power over it. They have used their vision from the fruit. Well, the other one as well. The Chemtech just makes everything just so much more interesting in the map, doesn't it, Orbital?
It does. I miss the days of actually giving a lot of invisibility as well, but that's not what we want to watch. Remember, it's a 4v5 with Kato on the top side with TP, so this is a chance for ONU. What can they do?
What can they do? They're going to try to go in. Aggression doesn't get in range. Nobody has range yet from ONU. JMU has a little bit of presence on the pit as well. They're going to go in. The cast going to land, and Show Me jumping really low is not enough to take this Smite down out of it. The Aurelia has joined the fight. Aggression is going to go down. They're going to go onto Lando, who flashes away a flash in retaliation coming from Kato as well. But it's 3. Oh, LeBlanc always makes me confused. It's a 4v1,
oh my gosh.
And Kai'Sa takes that one down in a double kill fashion. A
oh my gosh!
For the LeBlanc, and an ace on the hands of that Darius. JMU coming out to show ONU they can turn this game around.
What did I say? I wanted to see Darius pop off.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Huge props to Show Me as well. Getting the smite down to give context for everything that just occurred. And I wish we had a replay. ONU got nothing. You got nothing. You lose on that battle once again. You got a couple kills, but you had so many strong stacks. The fact that Kai got blown up that quickly means JMU are targeting, but this might be the overextension.
It might be the overextension. Show Me has the ignite on their heads. It's going to be aggression going on to DDD. So much damage is landing in a 3v1 Sightless. As a LeBlanc, probably going to be able to escape. Let's see how this is going to be played out. The mind games from the LeBlanc cars is still staying around. Okay, they end up going to the other side, but Sightless is still caught up between 4 members, and we'll see if they're going to be able to escape. They still have the flash. They use the flash, but they are eventually gonna go down. Where are they? Excuse me! Excuse me! Excuse me! I can't even narrate what's happening! Excuse me, Sideless. That was absolutely insane to watch. Even though you did go down, ONU has another kill on the board for them as well. But Sideless, what a showstopper play!
That one felt kind of funny. It was great, and then, you know, it wasn't great. So Sightless getting away, near getting away, and then immediately inting Zorni. Poor Zorni did not enjoy that one. So you know what? JMU, they take some dubs, and yet they're still falling behind here. But they've won some impressive battles, and I give them a lot of props for that one. So right now, eyes are currently open on what else can be taken. And for JMU, the crazy thing is, even though they're down this far, it doesn't feel like they're down and out, right? The amount of kills that they've gotten and the fact that DDD is currently sitting on par with the majority share of ONU's carries, it's a nice feel. Even if they're far behind, it feels like if ONU step up a little bit too far, if they give that opportunity for the Darius to pop off, it will happen. And you're really looking at Kato, at Aggression, at Wide Rum to keep a majority share of JMU away. So I'm liking it so far, but ONU still have a strong grasp on the macro game. They're still in control. They're still kind of playing to their own tune, and it doesn't feel like they're going to stop.
No, it really doesn't. On the other hand, you had JMU denying that so point for ONU. As you said, they're trying to take as much as they can from every fight. They end up winning. There is a Baron on the board, and everyone is here close to the pit. They're going to try to get Vision. JMU trying to get at least some pressure into their own jungle. And Show Me has to be careful being the front line. The rest of the team is still scattered around. The Darius does not have a TP, but the Irelia does, which could be very dangerous to them.
This is gonna be a question mark of where are the opponents? Where is ONU inside of this fog of war? Where is the dangerous member? And they're playing it smart. They're like, okay, we're not gonna let that happen. A good run out there though by DDD is saying I'm on the bot side. The Irelia can't really fight me right now. Cool, we're okay with this. But
yeah,
as you said, yeah, we're still dancing around that issue. So Sightless is gonna try and play out. But look at that, full control, and now, oh no, is Kato gonna win? Kato wins it 1v1.
Yeah, they do it, and even though you have the cut healing from the Darius, is going to be a lot coming from this Irelia. And with that, they push in the tier 2 in the top lane. ONU asserting even more dominance in this fight is a 5v4 if they so wish to take the Baron. The Irelia is still pushing, split pushing in the bot lane, and if they need the backup, she can just come in a second with a TP. JMU trying to rotate here as well. They don't have any vision. They're going to get caught up here. Wide Rum is going to go directly onto Show Me. The damage is raining onto Lando's head. The poor Kai'Sa has to fight on her own. She tries to ulti away, but she's going to go down eventually. Show Me trying to get 2v1 here. Very close to taking him down, but the ADC being in front of the support is going to deny the damage from the auto attacks from Show Me. The only one surviving that fight was the LeBlanc, but the Irelia still has eyes on her. Is this going to turn into a disaster for JMU? It's not, at least for the moment, because ONU is finishing up that Baron.
This is ONU saying, all right, we're done playing around, right? That was them saying, we have messed around enough. We are now going to take all of your economy. We're going to take everything. We're going to take your base. We're going to take your lives. We're going to take your gold. Imagine if you could actually steal gold in this game. That would be crazy.
Oh my God.
ONU are going to be looking to storm the base. They have everything in their hands, right? Another dragon coming up. They'll put themselves on Soul because I don't think JMU could even attempt a chance at stealing this one away. This will be all of ONU, and they can just go straight through the front door. At this point, honestly, we saw JMU get some amazing moments, but ONU just looks stronger on the day.
It really does. And you have so many bounties on the board as well. 150 for the top lane, 300 for the jungler, 400 in the mid lane. It's going to be an easy uncontested Drake, as you said, Orbital. JMU trying to find some way to breathe, some way to grasp the plan on how to proceed in this game, because they are falling behind, bleeding gold, as you have been saying, Orbital. And it's just going to be ONU on the lead if they keep on getting this pressure going. They're going to try to get something here on Sideless. We have something going on the screen, but it has been fixed quite swiftly. Wide Rum is going to be pushing with the powered up Baron minions in the bottom side. You only have the Zorni, the Sideless, and the rest of the team has arrived. DDD might be able to do something. It's definitely going to rely a lot on this big bruiser from the top lane. We'll see if this is going to turn into a dive or a mighty defense from JMU. The tower is going to go down. They pop the Shurelliers and they're going to go try to get something on Widerum. It's a tanky boy you're going to try to take down. Only half of their HP has been taken. The Sideless is almost dead. It's squishy compared to a Gragas. And with that, ONU still gets so much pressure, not just in the middle, taking down that inhibitor in the hands of Kato, but also the bot lane. It's collapsing for JMU.
Everything falling apart here, and they have one more chance. They have one more chance to try and explode onto the rift here, and they're going to try and make it happen. ONU pushing in. Look at DDD, show me, and Sightless to start things off.
And we'll see if this is going to land into something good for JMU as they're going to try to defend that base much longer. They're going to go in. Kato might be a little overextending their welcome under the turret. They're going to have to flash away. Kai is going in, and they get the final hit onto Lando. Now they're going to try to kite away. They have to escape, and they manage to do so. They're going to take the turret down. It's going to be Aurelia going with the ulti onto the Darius, and just one person standing is going to be Show Me on the board while the rest of ONU takes down their base. They are only left with watching it. Well, are they? Very close to taking down the Gragas, but it's a 1v3. You can only do so much. It's just extending the inevitable. ONU takes this game down. Orbital, are they going to take Show Me along with it? They're really trying to do so, but the healing is quite a lot. Shielding as well coming from the combo that has just spawned, and she's going to get the root, but the damage is still going to land on the Nexus, and it's finally Orbital. ONU taking game 3.
Game is over, and you know what? ONU, they did what they needed to do. They had a rough time in game number 1, so they swapped out some members and decided, hey, game 2 and 3 will be ours. JMU putting up a massive fight, though. I love the style that they came out with in game number 3. They hard swapped from trying to scale into that mid game, into that kind of AoE, to a mad scramble and bruiser comp. So very, very nicely done there. But ONU will be moving on into the semifinals, so it's a very nice done, a mini reverse sweep for themselves. We will get a little bit of an interview, I believe, so please do not go anywhere. The ECAC will be back in just a bit.
And that's only available for the best.
That's true. He's right. That's a main stage TO right there.
If this goes live, I'm suing everybody.
It's all right. A video of me, the first clip is me saying, don't put that in. And then it was the first, cut the cameras. Oh, you're recording already? Great. So this is this is Bay State versus UCF. I believe something that we saw yesterday on day 1 of the tournament, but instead we're going to have that run back here. I think they're fighting for a spot in Grand Finals. Anarchy, one of the best Greninja players in the United States, currently struggling against a Terry. Terry notorious for that DLC privilege, being a very strong character with some very strong abilities. Greninja, not so much, considered one of the weaker characters in the game. A Falco player, one of the best in the United States, and he just got spiked by a Terry. Same Terry that took out Anarchy literally minutes ago. UCF still up by 2 stocks. This guy is looking to rip this team apart single-handedly. That is, I mean, nuts, to say the very least. Absolutely absurd. That was a disgusting spike. I cannot believe that happened. Will you hold the microphone so I can sign this? Sorry.
For context, he's got a fan. He's actually signing something. He's so excited.
What was it like to not hear my voice for 2 minutes? For 30 seconds, maybe. What was it like? Probably bliss. I was signing a mouse pad, which is really cool. I've never done that before. Nobody's ever asked me for a signature, so I'm going to start blushing, but I'm really excited about that. And then he wants a picture. Can you take a picture of us? I said, is it bad? She went, no. I'm going to go ahead and take that as a yes. Turns out I can't tie a tie sitting down. What do you think is the appropriate face-to-screen ratio for a Valorant player?
Face to screen, like how close I sit?
Yeah, like how close should a player sit?
Personally, I play really, really close. I think it depends on your eyesight, but for me, I like playing close because it helps me focus on my crosshair.
Is the value of sitting close, the crosshair being the only thing in your line of sight?
Yeah, that's pretty much the main benefit of it.
It's so funny how close some of these guys sit. Oh my goodness. What do you think is the healthy face-to-screen distance for a Valorant player?
I think it's all kind kind of personal preference. I guess I would consider myself like pretty close when I play because I like to like zone in on my crosshair.
It is the second person to say that. It's all about the crosshair. And then what's up with the horizontal keyboard?
I don't know, like it just kind of fits like the form when I'm close to monitor. Like I don't know, it might sound cringy, but I like to like be one with my gun. You know?
No, bro, I feel it absolutely. What is going on, everybody? I am here with some UCF fans. How are we feeling about UCF? Let's go! Let's go! We've got a bunch of UCF fans in the crowd right now. UCF, they're up by a single game. They're looking to find their third and possibly final, secure a spot moving forward. Things looking great for them against Northwood here today. This guy's playing Minecraft right now. He keeps double building instead of placing the dirt. Pressure's on, man. Everybody's watching. Just kidding. Just me. Cameraman's not over here. Just kidding. He's behind you. There's actually always cameras on you if I'm around. Do you double build all of those? No excuses, bro. Your college esports Minecraft team absolutely rolled. L after L here. Let's hope UCF has a little better luck on stage, huh? What is going on, everybody? I am Septilence. I have the honor of welcoming you to the Collegiate Esport Commissioners Cup here in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, that was good. That was good. Good content. Good content.
Hello everybody and welcome back to ECAC Plays of the Week, and it's not just any week this time, it is the playoffs. We've got 8 incredible clips and I'm super excited to jump into them. My name's Septilence. I hope you're ready to hop into the ride because it's going to be a great one. When I found out this was clip number 8 of the playoffs highlight reel, I was flabbergasted because this is an incredible moment from Swift on the side of RPI. It's not just 1 or 2 elims to win the round and put RPI in a better position. It's all 5 coming from a single player. Take a look.
They hit him with the judge, operator in hand. Swift is trying to be able to find some value to it. The headhunter does a number on him. They're able to get a 4K. They're going to be able to get this plan down. Dakota's going to try and find him. Do they go into the tank? Yes, they do. Oh, they come out. That's the ace for Swift. They're able to make it happen all themselves, and they will get this one for free for RPI.
Clip number 7 tells a pretty amazing story as well. Ball State already up 2 games in a best-of-7 series, and they find themselves tied 2-2, less than a minute left on the clock. Perhaps a little bit more pressure than they'd want there in game number 3, but it's Daffy from Ball State that takes all the pressure and immediately relieves it from the team.
Find it back, pass to Daffy, bar down and in. Ball State will not be denied a game.
Crossbar has been doing a heck of a job here for Hartford, keeping the ball out of the net, but it only lasts for so long as Daffy's able to get...
Playoffs call for one thing: unconventional plays and crazy moments. And I knew this was going to be a crazy moment when the clip started with me looking at the casters. This stock comes through so fast from Northwood that we couldn't even get just the gameplay in the clip. It wouldn't be long enough. It is an incredible moment from SGP, and it just goes to show how good Northwood continues to be.
See, seconds into the match, and SGP's got a spike, a 0 to death at that.
Brother, that was literally one down here. After Fireball, bro, please. Oh, now we're playing this dangerous game at the ledge.
And welcome back, everyone. We are here ready to go with an interview with one of the players of ONU. After a mini reverse sweep and a few upgrades, we are going to be talking with Kai, the ADC from ONU squad. Kai, how you doing after that victory?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Thank you so much. We're doing good, especially after watching a 3-game series. Always exciting to cast those. So let me ask you something. How was the decision making in regards to ADC in both of these games? Because you went for something very different from Draven to the Zeri. How did that decision making go?
Well, for the Draven game at least, we had Blitzcrank, and I trusted my support to hit hooks. He hit 2 out of like 25, but it was a low kill game anyway, so 2 out of 10, 20%. That's not bad. He's over here looking at me molding. But out of the second game, I don't know. I play a lot of Zeri, so pretty easy to blind pick and just let it go, see how it goes, and it went well.
That's fair. That's fair. And I mean, taking a look at things, obviously there was game number 1. It was a different roster in there. And moving into the playoffs, you guys are into the semifinals. So, you know, if you win your next series, you'll be going up into the grand finals or into the third place match. Either way, with the roster swap that came in games 2, and then the roster that was coming that was used in game 3, is this the main roster that you think that you'll be running with, or is it still kind of fluctuating between a 10-man roster?
It'll definitely be fluctuating still from the 10-man. So our first team is like our JV team, and this is kind of like the league that's like theirs for the most part. And then if they need help, that's kind of where we just jump in. So you'll probably see us again. Hopefully not. Hopefully they can show what they're made of and prove themselves, but we'll be here if not.
Alrighty, well, again, congratulations on the victory. And Kai, any last shout-outs, any last words of respect that you'd like to give anyone on your team, enemy team, into the faculty that you have, anything like that?
Well, I'll shout out the JV support. He's over in the corner because he's still here. He watched the rest of the games. Everyone else left. But and then my manager to the left, he said he wants a cameo, so there he is.
Alrighty.
But yeah, thank you guys for your time.
Of course, and thank you so much for the interview. Again, congratulations, Kai, and to the rest of your squad, the ONU squad that took the victory and moved on to the semifinals. Thank you for the interview.
Thanks, guys.
All right, with that, we are done for the evening, but there's more action going on over on Esports U, I believe. They are going through some qualifiers there. But, Sofchan, any last words that you would like to give before we close things out?
Well, the closing out definitely requires talking about what we have going on for tomorrow. It's the CECC Service Academy qualifier. So that's going to be very interesting. Do you have any more information on that one, Abdul?
Yeah, it's going to be a couple fun matches. On Saturday will be 3 best-of-3s. It's pool play. And then Sunday will be the final matchup. And then, of course, that will be leading into the big one later on. It is the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup Finals. You know, you've heard about it, and you've seen it. It is going to go crazy. May 6th and 7th will be the resounding time over there in Texas. It's going to be a phenomenal time. It'll host a wide variety of games, not just Valorant or anything of the sort. It'll be so many games on top. That'll be in the Esports Stadium in Arlington, May 6th and 7th. So make sure to check that out on the website if you wish to go check it out, either on Twitter, all the social medias for Esports U. You can find more information there, or collegiatesmg.com. That is collegiatesmg, the letters.com. So make sure to go check all that out. But again, that'll be the end of the broadcast here tonight. The ECAC will be back next time with some more action and more League of Legends. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Orbital. With me has been Sofchan. We had Kai on observation, and of course, Leighton on production. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a fantastic night.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another ECAC weekly highlight clips. Now, I feel like I've been saying this every week, but this week in particular is full of some really unique kind of once-in-a-lifetime plays and clips and moments, so I'm super excited to jump into it with all of you. We're kicking things off with one of my favorites, Overwatch 2. University of Albany finds themselves back against the wall, 1/3 of the point already capped, but with a lot of great communication and a little bit of teamwork, they're able to snipe this fight back quickly.
Controlling these fights, and now are able just to go with the blade. It's gonna get one, gonna be able to get a few with the cleanup as well. It's just near team kill are gonna come out. There it is, Loose Milk getting taken down.
Clip number 7 almost takes us back in time to Super Smash Bros. Brawl, where we would see Diddy Kong versus Meta Knight all the time. But unfortunately, EJJ from St. John's is about to find out that Benedictine was not kidding around.
Oh, almost gets the near up shield. Oh, 5. Yo. Oh my god!
Ooh, and not enough height. Yep, that was really well done by Kid there.
Number 6 here in week 5 is going to be an amazing play from Wayne State. Amatsugachi finds a huge needle thread and guarantees the first point goal for Wayne State against their opponents.
I think I've seen this play before. Amatsugachi just waiting for the ball to plummet down in the zone, the scoring zone that is massive dunk to get Wayne State on the right foot.
I'm super excited about clip number 5 because it feels like the first Valorant clip we've had in a while. It's coming out from our friend Doodle V on the side of SFU. Uses every single knife in a Blitzstorm. It just can't find that elimination, but luckily enough, still had one knife in the chamber.
Swinging in from the backside, they're going to be able to swing on this one. They do have a sage that's behind them as well. EK is going to be able to give big value. They are able to maybe get the defusal. It's still beeping. They're still dropping. They have the right click. Trying to knife them. Oh, they jumped them like a ninja in the night. Oath is put on their back, and it's Jet that...
Sometimes as casters, we get a cool opportunity where a player's name matches up really well with what they're about to do, and I can't think of a better example than Bad News being the one to deliver that game-winning goal against Keen Blue in the 4th game on the side of Wayne State.
And double tap every time. Massive goal for Wayne State.
I mean, there wasn't even really a mistake. I mean, they had a player up for a potential shot, but the double tap opportunity that Bad News gave himself.
Now, I hope you're not sick of SFU, because while they already had their time in this weekly reel, they're going to find themselves here in slot number 3 as well. Mako, a shark in the water against the side of Muskingum to guarantee another round win for SFU on Pearl.
Mako will back up an operator that could get a collat here, and all of a second they get one, have to reload, can't quite get the other one, don't need to. Sky's able to be the limit. They get another. Stomachs are just being opened up with holes in the shape of a bullet, and it doesn't tag at least that one. Another through the wall bang them because they can't kill the Mako.
Using an ultimate in Overwatch 2 can be incredibly dangerous. If you miss your ultimate, it could put your team in a very poor position, but with a little riz from Shiz, he kicked the door wide open for his main tank to come in and save the day.
Now you don't even have another chance to recalibrate yourself. And the big EMP into the shatter! Oh my god!
That EMP shatter was devastating! 6 seconds left for Sumter to try and touch. There's not going to be a recontest.
Now, for this number 1 highlight of the week, I think anybody watching is going to know right away. Ridley is not a popular character in Smash Ultimate. So you know when you see 2 Ridleys going head-to-head, something incredible is bound to happen.
That's what I would do.
Yep, and then you sit and just take that up smash. Such a strong and potent kill move. Oh, we're going for the offstage gameplay. There's the stage spike from the neutral air. Hollow is a monster.
They live that. They live that. And now Holo has a very even game to play from. Minixo struggling to stabilize. Air dodges in.
We're seeing
then
the
goes for one of their
reverse.
own. They do the same exact thing. Minixo gives Holo a taste of their own medicine.
And that brings week 5 to a close. Thank you all so much for watching this with me and getting to share all these moments and relive all these hype, fantastic plays in the ECAC. It's been a wild ride. We've got insane weeks coming up ahead as we get closer and closer to the end. The caliber of play gets higher and higher, and these players, they just improve and impress week after week. If you want to keep an eye on it, feel free to follow on all of the channels. If you want to follow me, it's just Septulence. You know where to find me on any social media. Thank you so much for watching. Check your posture, drink some